Hello everyone, welcome to Comic Book Late Night Unlimited. It is I, Captain Logan, and joining me this evening, as always, is my co-host Chris. And last week we had an insanely gigantic show.
Yes.
I showed off 600 comics.
Yeah.
Not even kidding.
I powered through it, yeah.
I bought the same number in a week, or in a couple of weeks, that I bought pretty much all last year. And we had a bunch of new books to go through, and we did our top 10 of stories that we reviewed last year. And tonight we're going to have something much closer to a normal, average show.
Exactly.
We're going to make it as entertaining as possible. You know what I love about this?
What's that?
Our 19th show was this gargantuan beginning of the year extravaganza, and if only we could have worked in one more show in 2025,
right,
we could have come in with this giant bombastic episode 20.
Right, exactly, yeah.
And our actual episode 20 is going to be a show.
It's just a show. It's back to normal, you know.
I've just got 6 new issues from last week, and I say from last week, that I bought last week.
Right.
Only 3 of them even came out last week.
Right.
But I am going to talk about 2 issues of a series that I said I had given up on.
Okay.
Because, and some of you guys will guess what it is, and because I had a slow week, I decided to take a chance on it, and it completely won me over. I'm very excited about it now.
Right.
And it's going to be fun to talk about that. We've got the new issue of DCKO.
Yes.
I'm curious to see what Austin thinks of that. He'll come in during our new comic section. As always, he and I will also talk about Transformers 28, which had a shocking, insane last panel. That'll be fun to maybe not spoil, but just say it's there and it's not. So I don't know. We may say a spoiler alert just so that we can geek out about that. And I got a few other things. We'll talk about books coming out tomorrow, as always, so that when you make your trip to the comic shop, if you do that, you'll know what you might want to go and grab. And as always, if you are watching live right now, don't have a lot of folks yet, but if you happen to pop in, if you happen to be listening right now, and there's something that you, from the last few years, that you really want us to talk about at the end of next show, you can leave a super chat in any dollar amount, and the super chat winner, collective super chats, will get to choose that thing. And last week, I forget who it was. I didn't write it down. Do you remember?
Offhand, no.
Apologies. It's not coming to me right off. Hopefully he's here tonight and he can remind us.
If it was you, say so in the chat.
You know what? It might have been Josh. No, I don't think it was Josh. Maybe it was Josh. I can't remember. Anyway, but somebody asked us to review Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. It's taken me all week to remember the entire title.
You know, once you get a rhythm, it helps too. It does have it is very rhythmic. Beneath the trees where nobody sees.
Yeah, after a while I realized that I was like, oh yeah, well, I mean, it rhymes, first of all, so that helps you remember it. Second of all, the book has a kind of storybook quality to it. And so the title sounds like it's aping like a real innocent like storybook title or a or a fairy tale,
right?
And it's one of the most disturbing things I've read in a while.
Yes, it is.
Of course it is. That's a book about anthropomorphized animal, like cute furry animal characters. Two of which I should say are psychopathic killers, and it's disturbing and it's horrific, and I think I enjoyed it. But we'll talk about it at the end of the show.
And the best way to describe it is I think I even said this last week, how it's Richard Scarry's Dexter.
Yeah, I was getting Dexter vibes from the first 3 pages. Immediately I was like, oh, if this is going to actually, Sam, if this woman's going to be, this bear is going to be our protagonist, it's just going to be Dexter. And then especially when you get to the end of it, it really feels like Dexter. But we'll get to all of that, because that actually will lead to my one complaint about that book.
Right.
And I'm curious to know if you have the same complaint.
Okay, yeah.
But we'll get there. Welcome, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. Our default for right now, because I like to pick stuff that's probably not good.
Right.
Maybe we'll find ourselves loving it.
Yeah.
So that it will entice people to say no anything but that, and then give us something better. And honestly, if we land on this, I will be the one that is tortured.
Right.
Well, you too, I guess.
I mean, maybe it depends.
More than anybody. But see, I wanted to be a jerk and say that overall your standards are lower than mine.
Oh.
That's what I wanted to say, and I wanted to say that you tend to like some of the crappier things that we've had to review. But then there was Paul.
There was Paul,
and I think we both kind of landed in the same place on that. I still don't know how you got as much enjoyment as you did out of Poison Ivy, but
I will say Poison Ivy is a very pretty book too. It is a gorgeous book to look at in like some parts. I mean,
I guess there's that,
and like. I will say some of the stuff too, like
you're talking about the actual art and not just Poison Ivy herself.
Look, a little bit of table A,
okay,
table
all
B,
right, sure,
you know.
Sure.
There's some good coloring. That's some good, you know. It's
a good looking.
Yeah, yeah.
You're absolutely right about
it's
that.
funny because like there's a lot, and there were a lot of books too that even though we did like I know we were talking about like Radiant Black, which is a book that we were really excited about and we read. It's not that we disliked it. It's like, okay, the best is yet to come.
Yeah.
There's, stuff. I know it's gonna get really good. We like this, but
it certainly feels like it ought to.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a slow burn.
Right.
That was a mixed bag.
Yeah.
That's not a book that I'm going to feel the need to collect in singles, but I do want to read the rest of it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so right now, Eddie Brock Carnage is what we're going to land on for next time if nobody leaves a super chat. So I almost want to beg somebody to do it, not because I'm begging for money, but because I don't know if I want to have to read that book.
This is like the first time our like default book has been a threat. It's like, please help us. We don't know what we're doing.
Well, that's true because that Spider-Man run. Sorry, I'm trying to remember who that was. Who is that? That's Zeb Wells. Thank you. I just couldn't think of his name right off. The Deadpool Batman.
Yes.
Zeb Wells, which was also wonderful.
I know, right?
Zeb Wells Spider-Man. If we had picked it, would have been a threat.
Yes.
But that was actually selected by a viewer.
Yeah.
So thanks for that. But I guess it was nice to sort of check in on what the status quo and tone has looked like lately. And again, I did sample an issue or two of Joe Kelly, and I didn't love it either.
Right.
But
and at least with like Spider-Man, there was a little bit we could kind of grab onto because like the Tombstone stuff was entertaining.
Right.
So at least there was
it wasn't worth the rest.
It wasn't worth the rest.
It really was.
We're like holding on to like the one good thing. Like, no, I like the part where he.
No, you're holding on. You bring it up every time. Like, look, there was that one thing.
There was that one thing.
You have to give it that, and I'm like, do I have to every time? Do I have to? I mean, I guess.
I'm here with fair. Like my jug of like half spit water in the desert. Just be like, no, man, I'm hydrated. It's cool. That's why I said what I said about standards. Anyway, moving around. I'm just kidding. Stuff coming out tomorrow. Tomorrow is a light week for me. I think I have maybe 3 books. Right. Austin said he had 0 for next week. He may not even show up on the show. Wow.
Maybe something will jump out at him that he's not thinking about while we go through this, or that he'll look at tomorrow and go, okay, fine. I'm going to buy 1 book, and I'll show up for 5 seconds to talk about that 1 book.
Yeah, exactly.
But here are tomorrow's offerings. So we have a unprecedented second week in a row without any absolute.
That's wild.
Which is interesting.
Yeah.
I will say that there was a book that came out last week that is related to absolute. We'll talk about that later. But it's not an absolute book.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of odd. We talked about how their scheduling has been kind of futzed around with a little bit. And so next week you end up with an absolute, I think it's next week, you end up with an absolute Wonder Woman and an absolute Batman, but they're now an issue off because those books are crossing now, but the Wonder Woman crossover happened already.
Yeah.
And if they got their ducks more in a row, they could have released those the same week instead of 2 kind of unrelated stories in a week. That's whatever, but I just think it's amusing that it worked out that way.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else is amused by this, but anyway, so you got some regular mainline DC stuff here. Nightwing, World's Finest continues. Amazing Spider-Man number 20. We've still got Joe Kelly. I wonder how long he'll be on the book.
Yeah.
This looks like a Goblin, Night of the Goblin Slayers in parentheses. I don't know why that is.
Slayers.
Norman Osborn here comes some more Marvel copy. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready.
Norman Osborn may be purged of his sins. How do you purge a person of their sins? Like, you can, like,
You don't know about Sin Eater, his magic shotgun.
Oh, okay. Like, do you have to wipe his mind? Do you have to do the Smallville thing where the bad guy's body is invaded by the soul of the hero and then erases?
Nope.
Like,
You just have to shoot him with a gun.
you can forgive people of their sins. It doesn't make them purged of them. You can move on, maybe. You still did
the things,
sins.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, whatever. Maybe purged of his sins. I think not. See, there's a reason it says maybe.
Maybe.
But that doesn't mean they can't still come back to haunt him. Well, that's what it means to not be purged. Shut up. Hobgoblin. So is this Hobgoblin? It's a weird-looking Hobgoblin. Because for a second I thought it was some version of Demogoblin or something.
I know, yeah.
Hobgoblin.
We need our 90s, our Demo Goblin. It's like, that's who was in Maximum Carnage.
I will say, this is a cool design for a goblin.
Yeah.
It looks like a cross between a Spider-Man goblin and a Gargoyles character.
Oh, yeah, I can definitely see that.
But anyway, Hobgoblin wants Norman out of the Spider-Man game and his life for good. Stop it with the parentheses, folks. And he's got the hyper-lethal tech of an entire goblin-slaying army at his disposal. What does Norman have? A Spider-Man or woman or two, okay, who trust him as far as they can throw him. Does that make you want to buy that?
I just love that it's not just what does
it.
Norman have, it's what does Norman have ... exclamation point question mark. It's like that's some A+ copy there too.
So yeah, he's still Spider-Man.
Yeah, still Spider-Man, so I don't even know what's going on like the Spider-Man books right now. I gotta be honest too. All I know is like I think this is before Zeb Wells took over when like they shot Norman Osborn with the magic Sin Eater gun.
Was that? I thought you were referring to some other thing. Is that actually what happened?
That's actually what happened. That's actually what happened.
So that's how he was purged of his sins.
He was purged. He was literally like shot with a gun. That's how he was purged.
All right. That sounds like some X-Men Origins crap right there. Captain America, Titans, Ultimate Black Panther. That's probably the last issue of that, right? I assume that all these things that are running for 24 issues probably end there with Ultimate Endgame.
You would think, yeah.
Fantastic Four 7, which, by the way, I'm not reading. I could not. No, I'm talking about Ultimate Endgame.
Oh, okay.
I could. I'm not reading that either. I'm not reading anything Marvel, hardly.
Right.
But, yeah, I could not really care less about that. Just everything I've heard about how they're gonna move forward with the status quo after that, with the way the end of Ultimate is going to affect 616. I cannot get at all excited or on board with that, and I don't think anybody else is either.
Yeah.
We talked about this, but the whole idea, allegedly, and I really think this is true, I think this is going to happen.
Right.
The whole idea apparently is, if you've not heard, that those like boxes, those like suitcases or whatever, that gave people powers and reminded them of their backstories, and whatever of what it was supposed to be in 616 with this new Ultimate Universe. A bunch of those are going to land in 616 after the Ultimate Universe is destroyed, and a bunch of randos are going to take on the mantles of and get powers of superheroes that exist already. So a lot of people have already been really irritated about mantles that have never really been mantles before existing with multiple characters at once. So let's have multiple Spider-Mans running around. Let's have 2 Daredevils running around. Let's have multiple Thors sometimes. We've done this over and over again. And all Marvel's gotten is complaint after complaint about it. And what do? They triple down. If this happens, and I really think it's going to, they triple down on it and they say, that's our new brand, because we're worried that there's not enough different diverse heroes in Marvel. That's the ticket to get more people that aren't reading us right now to come in. So what we're missing is multiples of mantles. That's what we're missing, Chris. No.
And if again,
it's gonna be Future State all over again. It's just nobody's gonna care about a bunch of randos again. And like we've tried this in various forms over and over again with Marvel. It never works, right?
And like here's
not for your whole line. You can occasionally do a 2099 or whatever.
Yeah, you do a 2099. You can have characters like you can have.
I'm not complaining about new characters.
You can have your Kamala Khans. You can have your like Miles Morales, but when it's just you're dropping them in, you have to build them up. You have to actually put them in.
But also, and I know we've done this for a long time,
Yeah.
I still hate it. You can have your Miles Moraleses, but you have to name them something other than Spider-Man if they're not going to be the only Spider-Man. Stop it.
Yeah,
That is nothing against that character.
No, yeah, exactly.
Although, and I know I'm repeating myself from things I've said before,
Yeah.
but I haven't cared about that character since he came to 616 and didn't start with the interesting backstory he initially had.
And like here's
he was great in Ultimate,
Yeah.
but the whole point of that character was somebody's got to fill in for the dead Spider-Man. And as soon as you get rid of Ultimate and you bring him over, what is the point of that character anymore?
And you could do good stories with Miles, but a lot of the best stories we've seen with him have been outside of comics. Have been like the Spider-Verse, have been like...
Yeah, that's true.
Even like
that's about the only one. I don't even really like the Sony Spider-Man stuff with him. It's fine. It's whatever. I think it's kind of generic, personally. I will give you Spider-Verse. For my money, and like this is gonna sound harsh maybe for people that are big fans of that character, but for my money, it's the original Bendis run before the Ultimate Universe ended, and the Spider-Verse movies, and that's it. I mean, that's the only Miles stuff I've ever cared about.
And like the Bendis stuff was so like well constructed too. It's so like well laid, and you had a plan. You had a plan with that too.
Mystical Green Beanie, Marvel, let's discontinue the thing people liked in favor of committing to the same field idea we keep tripping over. That is a much more eloquent way of saying what I was already saying. Absolutely.
Yeah, especially since I know we've said this a billion times in the show. The things that are really popular, the things that are really selling are Ultimate Absolute.
Yeah.
And DC, at least, is, I mean, still... Like, I don't know how long they actually plan for Absolute to go on, but they also know that's where the money is right now, too. And
they're milking it in the right ways.
Yeah, exactly.
They're being very intelligent about it so far,
very
anyway.
Intentional, too.
Very intentional, that's the right word. And the most impressive thing at the moment is the real slow burn for crossover with that stuff. We're just now having Batman and Wonder Woman meet. It was glorious. I loved it. It was a small story. I mean, they're doing one more tied story in Batman. I'm sure it's not going to be gigantic either. They're really kind of spending a lot of time developing these characters and building worlds building that world, but various aspects of it, before we finally get to the big Justice League thing, and whatever it is they end up doing down the road. And what's also really interesting about their pacing is, particularly with Batman, but you could make the argument with most of these books, I guess, that we are slow burning as far as the universe goes, but for the individual characters, we're really fast tracking to get the rogues galleries real set up, and there's this kind of truncated thing on top of I don't want to say decompression, but taking your time, right? We've already gotten to Bane, we're already doing Joker, we've already got several of Bruce Wayne's or Batman's rogues gallery, knowing that he's Batman immediately. We're in some ways rushing some stuff. But I think in a really intelligent way.
I mean, the pacing is just so
and Superman kind of has this. Wonder Woman kind of has this, maybe to a lesser degree. I think it's taking more of its time as far as rogues go. But it got its supporting cast together very quickly. That feels like a more traditional run in its pacing.
And it's funny too with Batman too is, again, one thing I keep saying all the time in the show is the best stuff we've read have always had a sense of balance. That they know what to speed up, they know what to slow down on, they know exactly how fast to go in some parts, but when to sort of pump the brakes a little bit too. And I think that's that's the one thing I keep coming back to with just a lot of the best stuff I've seen. We've read the show so far is that it has a sense of balance. It has a sense of how much it can do on one side, how much it can do on the other, and trying to find the point in the middle that keeps it steady. And I think with Absolute Batman, it's been able to do this where it knows that, okay, we can take our time with the plot, but we also need to have like the iconic characters.
I'll be shocked if it holds together all the way through.
Yeah.
Because it's rare that works out when you've got such a monster like this.
Yes.
With so many different books in one continuity.
Yeah.
If it goes 4, 5, 6 years, what are the odds that it doesn't end in a fizzle?
Yeah.
But I really hope that it manages to have like a really good solid ending. I think what's more likely to happen is it sticks around for as long as they can keep it.
Right.
And then I don't know, maybe they'll do kind of what Ultimate is doing and fold it in at some point in some way. That kind of thing. I don't know. I imagine it'll work out better than what Ultimate is doing.
Yeah.
But ostensibly, both Ultimate and Absolute have a showrunner.
Yes.
Ostensibly. So Snyder obviously, to his credit, really has his ducks in a row.
Yes.
He's been a very impressive editor, showrunner, whatever you want to call him, for Absolute, and has done a great job of making it all feel like one world, but letting each of, and it's tough to do when you're starting with this idea of a Darkseid created universe that's oppressive and awful, and yet let's find different tones for our books within that, where it doesn't all make you want to slit your wrists every time you read one. Like, very impressive. And he's doing all of that. But letting all of these different writers and artists kind of go to town and go their own way and do their own stuff with it at the same time. By contrast, it just doesn't look like Hickman has been given the reins that way. It feels like he would have loved to have had that. But I don't get the feeling that he's really been the architect of that the way he might have wanted to. And so I just talk a long time.
No,
he's
you're good.
He's been in his own lane with Spider-Man. And I think he had ideas for what this whole thing should be, and Marvel Editorial had their own. And so what you've got right now with DC and Marvel respectively, between editorial and creators, is a good marriage and a bad marriage. A good marriage is built on good communication.
Yes.
And a bad marriage is we've both got different visions. And we're not telling each other what those visions are. And I feel like that's Marvel's greatest issue and biggest reason for their current downfall.
And that's not like a new issue too, because that was something you heard a lot with X-Men, where, I mean, the way the Krakoa era ended is pretty much well established that it was Marvel Editorial stepping in and it wasn't Hickman's actual plan. And like the rumor is,
and also how many times has that happened to Hickman over there?
I know, right?
And why does he? And also, you know what? I'm going to stick to the same allegory, and I'm going to say it's not just a bad marriage; it's an abusive marriage, where he's a friggin' battered housewife. He just keeps coming back.
Jonathan Hickman, if you're watching, you deserve better. Look,
you do.
You go out, you get your skill on the town. We'll talk.
I would argue that Hickman would be a great candidate to run the whole damn thing. I wish he'd be given the keys to the kingdom. Like Austin's been saying lately that he thinks eventually Snyder is probably going to become the president of DC.
I can see that.
And you look at the vision that he's got and the way he keeps to the way he's proving himself at Absolute. And the way and Austin, tell me if I'm putting words in your mouth. I'm pretty sure he said that to me recently, and I agree with that. But you look at the way he's proving himself, and then he keeps putting out articles with ideas for what he thinks the future of DC and superhero comics should be in general. And I think if Snyder was running DC, and plausibly, I don't know how he'd be with the business side, but plausibly if Hickman was running Marvel, we could have a new golden age of the big two.
And
I would like to see that happen.
And Snyder, I mean, just looking at like the level of craft in his books, you could tell that he definitely has that organizational mind. You can definitely tell that he has,
editor in chief. And that's what I meant when I said president. But yes, of course.
But also, but the same thing like Hickman too.
Making the big creative decisions up at the top.
I think Hickman more so is somebody that can take a lot of different ideas and synthesize them into something that is both like streamlined, but still like unbelievably complex too. Because
Yeah.
again, like not everything with Krakoa was great, but it still fit together. It's still, he was able to find like where all like the different pieces of like X-Men lore, how it could click together, and even like his Fantastic Four stuff. Like I think we've all seen the photo of his outline for that run, and I look at that and it's like, I want that. I want that skill.
Like, I want it on
I
my,
want that
I want
organization.
I want it on my wall.
Exactly. I just want the organizational abilities. I want my brain to work like that.
And that's what you want for a whole shared universe of comics,
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
You want somebody like that at the top that is actually keeping track of all of the continuity between the books.
Yeah.
So you look at the way he handled Fantastic Four,
Yes.
the way he tried to handle X-Men, and you're seeing a guy running his own, like creating his own story. The way a good editor would run the whole thing. If you think about it.
Exactly.
He's doing this grand master planning the way you would want to see a whole a whole comic system being run with 40, 50 titles. And like Claremont had a similar kind of thing.
Yes.
Now he was never editor-in-chief. He didn't run the whole thing.
But he was also, like writing everything.
Like guys like him and Simonson and like people that have these 10, 15-year runs with just all of these incredible moving parts. Now Hickman was different than that because he had all these he would throw all these balls in the air and you wouldn't know what the heck you were looking at for a while, and then he typically would stick the landing if only somebody would let him. Like the big difference between him and a Claremont is Claremont looked like, and this might not be true, I was going to say maybe kind of plotting as he went along more than a Hickman, and good at it. But he would have, he's working toward like different endings of different things. A Hickman would introduce a thing, make you scratch your head, not explain it for 10 issues. And you'd like, I always bring this up. You have like that Black Bolt issue in his FF, whereas all of a sudden it's a different book, and you're like, why am I reading about Black Bolt all of a sudden? And then it all comes together later, and you know why that is. But.
And I know people have talked about like the one issue early on where there's like the chalkboard that's all just like spoilers for issues like 10, 20 issues down the line. It's like, why does it say Doom will save us all?
Austin says, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Austin says, I've also heard that Snyder has been running retreats with the writers where they discuss formatting an issue to feel enjoyable to read month to month and whatnot. Yeah, again, a good marriage is built on communication.
Snyder's done.
Exactly.
He's done like writing.
And yeah, you're right. He cares about morale. He's actually paying attention to that. Marvel, not thinking about morale. Could not care less.
I've even heard
battered housewives.
I've even heard that like before that, Dan DiDio wasn't really like didn't really inspire a whole lot of morale too. Like there's a lot of people afterwards who are like, I think Greg Rucka even said like, man, I hate work for that guy.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Just one thing with like Claremont too is that I know that he even wanted to like cycle out X-Men too. He wanted to have them like retire. Like after like the Dark Phoenix saga, he was like, all right, so Scott's gonna go off. He's got Madeline Pryor, who just happens to look exactly like Jean, and he's gonna go live a happy life. And then like
they played around with that in X-Men '97.
They did, yes, they did.
But not do the sliding timescale thing. Like let it actually kind of move in real time. Let people
age out,
get old and retire or just quit.
Yeah, and I think that was part of like the idea with New Mutants too. That was
kind of like what Spider-Man was clearly supposed to be initially.
Right. So I mean, again, but I was gonna say too that Scott Snyder's actually done like little seminars and stuff too, and like writing workshops and stuff, just for not just for like the DC writers, but just for like the public too.
No, he's a bit of a scholar with this stuff.
Yeah, I think he's even like
really cares about the craft,
and I think he's even like taught as well too. I think he actually teaches at the university and like
he does.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Right.
Okay, moving right along. So mainline Wonder Woman is tomorrow. Exquisite Corpses. More of these DCKO tie-ins. I don't know if anybody's reading this stuff. I don't understand the point of them. With the like one-on-one fights, because you read the regular KO issues and everything that actually matters happens in them.
Right.
And 3 has that typical thing that you see a lot with big events and their tie-ins, where it will reference obligatorily a tie-in and act like there's a really important plot point that happens in it.
Yeah.
And I'm not buying it. I'm literally and figuratively.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't get how if in issue 3 you start with, and it's funny because it's a 5-issue mini-series, event series, and you start with 8 players remaining. So the third issue, you're not even halfway in.
Yeah.
The third issue starts with only 8 players remaining. There's only going to be 4 by the end of it.
Right.
You see how you got rid of half of them.
Yeah.
And I go, what is the point of the individual matchups?
Yeah.
Because it's not actually like the bracket thing.
Right.
So why even have them? And if you're reading KO, you have to, after just the first issue, especially the second issue, realize how little any of that's going to matter, and it feels like wasting paper.
And I've
maybe some of them are fun enough on their own.
Yeah,
none of them look very good to me.
They're all just, the ones I've read too have just been like.
Have you looked at some of it?
A little bit, yeah. I looked at like the Joker, Jason Todd one. I looked at like the Harley and Zatanna one, and like a couple I've just kind of flipped through. And
Watson says there are some eliminations in the one-on-one fights.
Yeah, they're okay.
That's weird. I just don't see how that really even makes sense with the way they eliminate people in the main series. But Austin will explain it to us.
I've just from what I've read,
saying this having not looked at it, but I'm explaining why I'm not compelled to look at it.
Yeah, and you're not really missing too super much.
And to be fair, that's usually the case with these things.
Oh,
but
yeah.
You've seen tie-ins be interesting enough on their own, whether they really matter in the main story or not. And like I said, I'm just not really compelled to look at these. But like, Blackest Night was good at case with that, where you don't need to read any of those. Some of them are cool.
Yeah.
That's. I want to say the event that is most true for at DC anyway is Flashpoint.
Yes.
The best storytelling in Flashpoint is not in Flashpoint.
Right.
And that's very unusual.
I would, agree with that too.
Austin, Harley Quinn got eliminated in the Zatanna versus Harley issue. That's true. She just kind of doesn't show up.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm just not even finding myself compelled to keep track, really, of who's still there and who's not. Because it just feels like kind of like fun moments for characters, but you can tell which ones are going to matter.
Yeah. And there's not, at least from what I've read, there hasn't been a whole lot that really, like, these aren't groundbreaking stories. They're just one character fights another, and
well, that's okay. That's all it needs.
That's all it needs to be. Yeah.
But the actual fighting game mechanic idea is not really the best stuff in the KO series.
Exactly.
Maybe it is in the side stuff. I don't know. There's some fun stuff in it. I mean, I'm not complaining that hard. I'm enjoying that series okay.
Yeah.
But if all the big one-on-one things are going to happen in the minis,
right,
they need to do something in the KO proper to entice me to read them, and I'm just not really having that.
Yeah.
But that's just me. What else? Spider-Man Wolverine number 9 is tomorrow. I will probably buy that. It's terrible. But it's been kind of... That has been a so bad it's good book for me.
Right.
Freaking Guggenheim creating this amalgamation between Spider-Man and Wolverine and doing a whole cast of amalgamated characters of just Marvel.
Yeah.
It's fun. The art is pretty enjoyable. The whole thing is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm gonna finish that arc. I probably won't buy any more of that book, but I will buy the rest of that arc.
That's fair. Yeah.
And like I said, it's a slow week, so I don't mind doing that. I've been curious to know what this assorted crisis events thing is at Marvel. I keep seeing this, and clearly it's some kind of parody of DC Crisis stuff. But life in the gutter. A homeless comic book artist falls into the gutters literally. Can Wally find his way back to life and reality, or is he lost in the blank white space between panels forever? Oh, so it sounds like kind of a meta comic thing.
I was about to say, this seems like it would be a Image book as opposed to...
And it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like how Image would handle that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because, like... I just realized it is an image book. Wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's an image book.
Yeah. And I mean, it's got the very romance comic vibe there too. I don't know if it's different eras or if they're doing like different genres, but you know.
Okay, there's a Daredevil Punisher mini that's going. Catwoman tomorrow. Rogue #1. What do you think of this cover?
It's Rogue.
Look,
it's very Rogue.
It's Rogue. People I don't know, Erica Schultz.
I've read some Erica Schultz stuff. I mean,
Luigi Scaria.
Yeah. She did like the Hallows Eve solo book too, which I mean is you don't get a whole lot of new characters in Marvel. I mean, you don't. She's a fun idea at least, like a Halloween themed like super character. I mean that's.
Moving right along. So yeah, Rogue has been talked about a lot lately because of weird things we've been doing with her.
Because there's two now.
The sort of Superman Red, Superman Blue thing, and the one of the rogues is Galactus
one
thing.
Of the rogues is Galactus.
I don't know what's going on with all of that. Maybe that book will make some of that clearer.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not really enticed to look at that unless people say good things.
Yeah.
Just because of the Marvel of it all lately.
Right.
Spider-Man 94 #5 is tomorrow. One of the only Marvel books I've actually been buying just obligatorily because I like Spider-Man, the Spider-Man animated series. But I will say the last couple of issues have been better than it had been.
Right.
But I still don't, care all that much. You can see other titles on your screen there. I won't read everything. Psylocke Ninja, I had not heard about. I don't hate that cover.
Yeah.
It's not amazing, but I don't hate it. Jason is a giant Psylocke fan and also a giant Rogue fan. There's part of me that almost wants to buy these both tomorrow just to give Jason the covers.
That's fair. Look.
Flashback. This is set in a different era. Flashback to a time when Psylocke was reborn into the ultimate killing machine. What sacrifice did Betsy make to save the X-Men? This sounds okay, actually. Yeah. What did the Hand choose? Why did the Hand choose Psylocke to be their weapon? And what does it have to do with their former assassin, Elektra? This is Tim Seeley.
Yeah, Tim Seeley.
Who's all right.
Yeah, I like it.
You know what?
Yeah.
It's a slow week this week. I may actually give that a shot.
Maybe, yeah.
I might buy that one. I like that cover, okay. Jason will like it. I might just read it and give it to Jason, but I might actually try that. I'm shocked to say.
Well, I know we've talked before about how a lot of the best Marvel stuff has become throwbacks, and it sounds like this is going all the way back to, like, her first... modern Psylocke first appearance.
I'm telling you, I think that might be the strategy for them right now.
Yeah.
It might be. You know what would be really funny? If this won't happen, but if somehow after Ultimate Endgame, 616 just gets reverted back to an earlier time, which would be a big mistake because that'll really piss everybody off.
Yes.
Where it's like, oh, now we're gonna go back and we're gonna pave over continuity with probably mediocre writing.
It's 1994, everybody. Welcome back.
Is that Heroes Reborn or?
I just picked a year in the 90s too.
Oh, of like where they'd go back to?
Yeah, like I think that's like right between, if I remember right between Clone Saga and Heroes Reborn.
Yes, or like a couple years after that, maybe
something
96.
like that. Yeah,
or whatever.
I'm bad with dates anyway too. I'll have
to. Moving right along. That new Darkness series started recently, so second issue is coming out of that. Austin, are you not still reading Starship Godzilla? Because he said he had no books next week, but I thought that was a book he was reading. You might have one.
He might have one, yeah.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles, #4 is tomorrow. That book has been dynamite. I've been very, very happy with it. So that is the second on my pull. Third on my pull, of course, is Ninja Turtles Battle Nexus, which is fine so far.
Yeah.
I'm surprised by how little fun crossover stuff Waltz has done so far in it. A lot of just kind of premise building and villain building at the moment. But hopefully issue 3 will really start jumping forward. And that series was supposed to be weekly but skipped last week, so I'm not really sure what that's about.
Right.
And then they're reprinting that Absolute Batman annual. I think you're going to see second printings of literally every issue of Absolute Batman.
Yeah.
And possibly more printings than that of most of them.
Right.
Because I probably mentioned this, but I'm looking at my comic database right now with values and the market the fair market right now has just been shooting up for several issues of that. And the annual is already, is that one that's already at like $40 or $50? I can't remember. But several of them are that high now.
Right.
And it's like, I don't like doing the speculative selling thing.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to be obnoxious and get into that right now, Absolute Batman is a surefire bet for probably the next year or two. I don't expect, number one, to stay valued at over $150.
Yeah.
But if you find one at a half decent price, I don't know that you will, but like if somebody didn't know what they had, or somebody was just trying to get rid of something and sold you one for
something falls off a truck,
70 or 80 right now, and you resold it tomorrow, you'd probably make money on it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Absolute Wonder Woman. I got my copy for $10. It is on my app valued, and by the way, values based on recent eBay sales,
right?
And other websites too, maybe.
Yeah.
That has popped all the way up to $50.
Wow.
And so, like, if you got these when they came out and you don't mind parting with them, now is the time to sell.
Yeah.
Or maybe give it 2 or 3 months. Some of this stuff has to have hit the ceiling already.
Right.
I don't see Absolute Wonder Woman #1 going to 100.
Right.
I don't think that's going to the stratosphere. But maybe give it a couple of months and then sell it if you don't care that much and you really need grocery money.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. It's fun. It's fun to me just to watch it go.
Right.
See what happens with it. But anyway, that's the major stuff that I saw. And now we're going to get into new books from last week. So, Austin, Discord in whenever you're ready, if you would. While we're waiting on that, I'll just mention a couple of things that I bought but haven't read yet. I got finally a copy of Voyager Homecoming #3 just because I missed that on my pull list for some reason. My comic shop didn't do that. And then it turned out that they had an extra copy that this might have been the one they forgot to put in my pull. I don't know. But I actually got it for half cover because of that.
Hey, nice.
So I guess that was nice. But look, it's J-Way drinking her coffee. She's drinking her coffee. And then let's go ahead and bring Austin in here.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Hey, how's it going?
How are you doing, man?
I'm pretty good.
Real quick before we get to your books, I'll just go through these other couple things that I bought. I also got, so sometimes I'll bring one of my kids with me and I'll let them pick a random book. And Selena, I don't know why she wanted this, picked this old 20, not in great shape. It was in the dollar bins. This old, but it's fun to find stuff like this for $1. Superman 20 center. So number 271. Who is the man who murdered Metropolis? Ooh, and it's a Brainiac issue. There's a bunch of I haven't read it yet, but I flipped through this and there's a bunch of Brainiac. So I thought this was a pretty good. She's got good taste, that 4-year-old.
You've taught her well.
I've taught her well. Yeah. So anyway, and then
she's a Brainiac gal, so she's got good taste.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm gonna start calling her that. It's Selena, my Brainiac gal. It's like, is she a Catwoman fan? Yes, but also she's a Brainiac gal. Whatever the hell that means. And
she's
then
gonna get her skull ship and fly up to Kula.
You know what though? She really lives up to her name. Selena pretends to be a cat all the time. She goes around the house meowing, and what's really funny is my twins are 4, and so they're in that pretending to be animals phase.
Yeah.
And I just love that she's the one that went to cat. Right. I named her after Catwoman. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
And Selena will, I kid you not, curl up in a ball on my lap and start purring. And Selena, for whatever reason, has always been really good at sound effects. From the moment she could, sort of talk,
right?
She's just had a natural gift. She's like that guy from Spaceballs. I'm not kidding. She has this natural gift. You're the guy with, the sweeps and the bloops. And she's like that guy.
We respect Michael Winslow here. This is
So she'll come up to me, and she'll, she doesn't just purr. She has like this perfect cat purr where she'll get up against my arm, and she'll like get kind of irritated. She's like trying to move me like my cat does this,
right.
And she'll be like, and then she makes this sound. I can't even do it. That's just like just like perfect purr. It's amazing. Anyway, and then I also
the weirdest thing she does is that every time she walks into the house, she says, "Honey, I'm home." Oh, that's right, I'm not married.
Oh, she wrecked up my hello there sign.
Thing for a 4-year-old to say.
I probably shouldn't have put the neon hello there sign. But
I will say, I've actually...
She spray painted her dollhouse, too. She put all
then
of
you go
her
into her
stuffed
room
animals down the garbage
here.
I can't believe your daughter murdered Christopher Walken. That is just too far. I will say, I've actually seen... I've actually
Allegedly. You don't have... There's no evidence.
Yeah, no.
Nobody filmed it.
I'd like to take my Fifth Amendment rights at this time. I was actually going to say,
she electrocuted him, and he was like, "Ouch!"
Then he turns into ouch, and then he turns into a skeleton. But no, I've actually seen Michael Winslow live like a few times. He actually gets to town every so often, and
that's cool.
What's funny is that, like, first of all, yeah, he does do all the voices. He will just put out like a clip of Star Wars and be like, "I love this movie because there's a lot of sounds."
That's so cool.
And what's hilarious too is that for whatever reason, it didn't click with me that if he could do like that many sounds, he's probably like a really good singer. Because there's parts where he's like, "I'm gonna do some opera here." It's like, hey, you know when you go to the Italian restaurant, you hear.
You probably sounded just like that.
Yeah. This is actually a pitch-perfect recreation.
Which makes you wonder if guys like Bobby McFerrin aren't really good at sound effects.
Yeah,
like going the other way.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, like especially people who are.
And he's doing like teaching too, like doing university stuff now.
Yeah.
So
I know but he's been teaching forever.
Yeah. I mean, he has one solid hit. You gotta do something after that, right?
But I was gonna say, people that are good at acapella, have to be decent at sound effects,
right? Yeah,
because there's a certain amount of that you're like, if you think about it, where sound effects and musicality cross. I don't know why we're talking about this right now.
Yeah.
Where sound effects and musicality cross is beatboxing.
Yes, exactly.
That's the marriage of those two things.
Yeah.
That's true.
So
I just want to think now, though, that every good singer can do that. Like, in the 70s, you go to, like, a Queen concert, and he's like, "Before we start..." Just saw Star Wars.
Freddie, I need you to do the bleeps and the bloops.
Pretending like he's got a lightsaber.
Yeah.
The other thing I bought last week that I haven't taken a look at yet is Peter David's Supergirl #1. I own close to half of this series now, but I didn't have, and I'm going to finally start reading through this. Austin's been reading it and liking it a lot, and I've always really liked this cover and just never got my hands on one. This is the one issue of this series that I think has very much value at all, and it's still only an $8 book. Maybe a $10 book. I paid $8 for it.
Yeah.
But really good grade, in really good shape. I'm very happy with the price I paid for this, and the rest of this series is like $1 to $3 all day long. So I'll take that for $8 when I can get the rest of it cheap.
And it's another one of those Spawn but better books, which I was really surprised by.
I mean, I can see that.
Not,
now that you mention it.
Going, but when it starts, I'm like, the first like 2 or 3 issues feel like Peter David going, no, Todd, this is how you write it. You only need 3 issues.
Does that explain why Does that explain why she is a natural cross with Resurrection Man? Because they have an arc together.
I mean, possibly, yeah. There's a lot of hell stuff in. In like Satanism.
Immediately, it's funny because this cover does not go with the interiors at all.
Yeah.
It's not.
It does not
what you would expect.
Set you up for how dark that book is.
But dude,
at least at the get-go.
But like, it looks like Resurrection Man. Like it looks a lot like
the
that
art's
art.
beautiful.
Yeah, no, it's great. Anyway, I'm very excited to sink my teeth into this finally, and I think I own it consecutively at least the first 14, so I'll be able to read these physically without having to go to digital for at
That's
least
awesome.
a good amount of it, and then I should just like keep hunting it as I'm getting into it, because like I said, they're cheap. And I've been doing this with Spider-Girl lately too.
Yeah.
I've been really lucky lately in finding and even consecutively some good amounts of runs of just like female heroes from the 90s and 2000s.
Yeah, and
I'm buying a lot of Whoever Girl books right now, and it's great.
I mean, especially like a lot of those runs, like the Supergirl and the Spider-Girl, are really underappreciated too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a
Well, Supergirl's not even fully traded. I don't know about Spider-Girl. It might be, it might not be. I don't know
if it
but
is or
like,
not.
Supergirl, they only traded half of it because I assumed I owned all of it, and then I was reading something about it, and it was like, oh, they went to like issue 80 something, and the trades only go to 40.
Nicholas Bodo, the point I was making, because he says, wasn't Resurrection Man already dark? Well, yes. The point I was making is, that doesn't sound like a natural cross. Like, Resurrection Man didn't cross with a whole lot of different heroes, but there's a big story with him and Supergirl, and I was raising my eyebrow at that, where I was like, why Supergirl? And then I look at how dark this first issue is, and I look at the art, and I'm like, oh, it's actually the only thing from that period that makes that much sense to cross with.
Yeah, no, there's like ritualistic sacrifice and stuff.
I was noticing pentagrams and crap, and I was like, well, of course.
Yeah, no, that's a big part of how we merge Matrix Supergirl with like the Linda Danvers thing.
Oh, really?
It's really interesting.
I didn't know he merged them. I thought he just finally threw her away.
No, it's kind of like a Swamp Thing, like Alan Moore Swamp Thing, where Linda Danvers is like girl that dies whose soul like goes into Matrix Supergirl. So she like feels like she's this person, but she's not. It's got some really interesting identity stuff.
Because they have like the whole Reborn Angel thing too, right? Because like it's been a while since I've actually read the Peter David Supergirl. I just remember like the first time she saved somebody, the guy's like, it was an angel.
Well, one of the covers where she crosses with the Resurrection Man, she's got like pseudo wings.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's a thing in her book or what exactly they're doing with that.
Right.
But to your point, they're thematically playing around with that.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
We got to do vaults on that.
Definitely, yeah, I would love to. I've slowed down on it just because I've been having to catch up on so much recent stuff, but I've been slowly picking away at that book.
I'll catch up to you because I want to start reading that. What issue are you on? Do you remember?
I think I'm on 6 because I think I just finished 5 and then read Crisis on Infinite Earths, and that took me way too long to read.
Yeah,
that was a slog. It was a good slog. I appreciate reading it. But it was a slog.
I was going to ask you if overall you liked that book. I would have reviewed that with you if I didn't already have a review on the channel. But
Crisis is a book that like,
it's the War and Peace of superhero.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm like in love with it for the first couple issues, and then it slowly kind of beats down on me until I'm like, okay, this is a lot.
And then it turns back around
again.
I don't feel. You get to that last issue, and it's like the way they're recreating the world and everything. It's really neat.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, it's one of the first kind of big events like that. Like, it really sets the stage for what events will be. But there's just like a lot of kind of stopping and starting, where it's like, okay, like the anti-monitor's doing this. Okay, we beat them, and now we're gonna like live in that kind of moment for a little bit, and then the plot kind of starts back up again. And there's just like a lot of like stop start throughout that event, and it gets a little tiring.
Did you know it was supposed to be longer?
Yeah. But, like, the death of Supergirl, the death of Flash, all that stuff is really well handled. Like, all the stuff that's good in it is really good. It's just a lot.
And all the stuff that became iconic, all the like, the stuff everybody remembers about it, that is the good stuff.
Yeah. It's also really funny seeing what characters show up the most and like which character specifically will show up in backgrounds a lot. Like Metamorpho maybe gets one line of dialogue. He's in the background of so many panels and like he's not doing anything, but I'm like, clearly somebody's liked Metamorpho.
Here's like George Perez, even though I love George Perez as an artist, and I do appreciate like how much he can fit on a single page and a single panel.
Oh, it's insane.
Yeah, it is, and that's kind of a double-edged sword because sometimes you'll be looking at like a page and there's so much just like information in it that it's overwhelming, that you have like a sensory overload just looking at like one page of art.
Well, what's fun is that he did it with both companies.
Yeah.
Because Infinity Gauntlet has exactly the same
Exactly,
thing.
yeah.
Like, there's 9,000 characters on this 2-page spread.
Somebody asked George Perez, like, why do you draw so many characters in a single page? Like, man, these pages take so long. I get lonely. I just need some friends.
Like, some of those pages look like they should take a year to draw.
Yeah, I know.
Or, like, 5 other people must have helped you with them.
Exactly, yeah.
You know? Like you look at early Eastman and Laird Ninja Turtles, you're like, it took 2 guys to draw 4 turtles.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, I would have thought, by that ratio, I would expect, like, 45 people worked on those pages.
Exactly.
It's like Kirby, where it's like he's doing like 8 books a month, and like
Yeah,
his
I know.
art's so impressive, and he's not smoking crack to like, give him that energy. Like he just naturally is doing it.
Yeah, like, what were those cigars?
Freaking Morrison has to do that and not crack, but freaking Morrison's on psychedelics.
Grant Morrison-
He doesn't even drive.
Grant Morrison got abducted by aliens during the Invincibles.
He has to do that.
forget.
He has to do that just to tell stories.
He's like, Grant is like, Grant, how'd you write this book? I went to the 5th dimension. They showed me outside time and space.
The most accurate Grant Morrison impression you'll ever hear.
Exactly.
It's like I forget what interview it's in, but there's a Mark Millar interview where he talks about he's like every comic writer is either a drunk or they're just smoking pot like every day, and like that's how they come up with their ideas and stuff. And then he goes, and then you have freaking Steve Ditko, who is sober his entire life and created Doctor Strange.
Yes.
And like people are dropping acid
Exactly.
just to reach his level of creativity for that.
I know, right?
Yeah, like how much? Because I know Steranko had a crazy life, but like, was he on drugs at all? Because you look at some of his art and you think he might have been one of those guys.
Well, I know there's stories about
I'm
like
not sure.
I know there's stories about like Steve Gerber who did like Howard the Duck, where like him and like somebody else would go and like drop acid. Englehart, yeah, would go like smoke pot, drop acid, and then go like fight in Central Park to get like the fight scenes right.
Yeah,
Like,
well, and that was specifically when Englehart was writing Doctor Strange.
Yeah. Like, yeah, there's.
Oh, comics.
I think it was like Marvel Comics: The Untold Story, where they talk about how
Yeah.
yeah, where they're just like, all right, man, that's the way he punches him. He does like this.
Austin, let's get into new books. We've only got a couple of crossovers together, so let's do those. Well, we've been having
we have more crossover than we don't. So I think I guess it's about even.
No, we don't, because
But-
you said you had 6, and you and I only have 2 books of crossover that I'm seeing.
We have 2, but one of my 6 was the Godzilla Ninja Turtles, which I'll just talk about briefly.
Which I already talked about, yeah. Well, do you want to do our crossover books first this time?
Entirely up to you.
Okay, I'd like to
because I have an easy segue between them. So.
I'd like to do that to front load the bigger book from the last couple weeks, or from the last week, if that's cool. So, Austin, tell us a little bit about DCKO 3, because I'm curious to see what you thought of that.
DCKO 3 is Oops All Action. It's basically the tag team round, and it's a lot of fighting.
You're right, it's Tekken.
It's Tekken.
Yeah, and we're like split off because we have 4 different matches, and we have how it's set up is we got Superman and Captain Marvel versus Guy Gardner and Hal Jordan, Lex Luthor and Supergirl versus Aquaman and Hawkman, and the funniest pairing, and I like died laughing when they were like, "This is the pairing." Wonder Woman and Big Barda versus Cyborg, and Connor Hawk Green Arrow. Like, you're gonna get curb stomped in a second.
And Cyborg's explanation for that did not track for me, really.
Oh yeah, no, it's really funny. So I remember once at like Christmas, I think we were talking about whether Ringo Starr is a good drummer, and everyone was like, he's not like the best drummer or anything. And my stepdad goes, well, I think he's an amazing drummer because he drums off beat, and a lot of drummers have a hard time matching his drumming and like recreating it because it's just slightly off from what you're supposed to do. And I'm like, that was basically Cyborg's explanation for Connor Hawk, where he's like, Connor Hawk is like a really weird style of fighting, so I picked him because a lot of fighters can't match it.
And they said,
I'm like, so basically what you're saying is he's bad.
Yeah, he's
Yeah, but he said like he's bad, which is why he's good.
It was pretty random.
And then
it's a good device to get some more characters back in, and to get to play around with some people that you didn't think you would see again. I don't know how many of those were like fan favorite, like exciting moments where it's like, oh boy, I thought this person was taken out, but they get to come back in and you get kind of nice cameos for them for a minute. But like I'm trying to think, did I have that with anybody? I guess Supergirl, I kind of had that with. That was nice. Back to talk about Supergirl again. I did have one complaint about the Supergirl thing, which is, no, you can't do it next issue because I guess they're already done with the tag team round. But they have this big like cliffhanger panel across a page where then you jump to another scene that where everybody's trying to figure out why in the world Lex would bring in Supergirl to tag team with when he has to know that she won't work with him. And immediately she's like, you're an idiot, I'm not working with you, Lex Luthor. And then she goes to the other two that they're fighting, is like, let's team up against Lex Luthor. It's gonna be the three of us against him, like, beat his ass. They start doing that. And then later on, he revealed, this is a minor spoiler, but he reveals, well the reason I brought in Supergirl was because I'm gonna bring out red kryptonite and I'm gonna make her rage. And I went, oh cool, we're gonna do Red Lantern Supergirl. And then we didn't do that. And I don't know why you would make a big deal out of Rage Supergirl if you're not gonna bring back Red Lantern Supergirl. And we've been doing a lot of that kind of fan service, so why not? Like, all you had to do was have one of the artifacts that somebody brought with them be a Red Lantern ring, and you've got it. Like, why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I didn't even think of that. It's whatever. It's oddly, I have 2 issues this month that feature Supergirl getting some sort of weird Luthor-based kryptonite thing that corrupts her. I don't know how that lined up, but that's kind of amusing.
Well, that just felt like I mean, you haven't read like the 50 Supergirl stuff. That just felt like initially fan service for, because Red Lantern Supergirl was kind of a big deal. Like, it was merchandised a lot and stuff. Like, people remember that. Yeah. And so you say Rage along with Supergirl, and you're not going to go Red Lantern. That is weird.
I guess I think it's just because it's like specifically like the red kryptonite thing. So I was like. I wasn't even thinking like, oh, now she can get a.
But it's because they use that word. I feel like that's Red Lantern. This. Yeah. That's the whole point.
But that's also what red kryptonite is. To be fair,
we don't always go with that word. That like the point of the word is the red kryptonite thing. Is the Red Lantern thing. That was a strange choice. That was a little bit of a letdown to me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why she becomes a giant, but he does say that it was like a whole mix of things. He did say it was, yeah.
So what did you
something in there?
So what did you think of the Joker stuff? Because I know you've not been happy with how prominent he is in this.
So.
He's got stuff to say.
Like 2 pages in, they're setting up the rules. They're like, okay, there's this many of you, and you each get to pick your person from the Fallen, and they're like, except for one of you, and that's the Joker. And I'm like, ugh, okay, whatever. Flip to the next page and see, where it has all the matches listed, and it's Zatanna and Constantine versus Joker and Mystery. And I groaned so hard because I'm like, okay, we're setting up Snyder just pulling something completely out of his ass to get through this. And he did, and it was awful. And it, like, completely soured, like, a good portion of that issue for me. until the Lex stuff kind of made up for it, and I was like, okay, you're winning me back a little bit, but I'm still like, I need you to stop with this. But
I agree.
Yeah.
I had kind of the same thing with it. I sort of rolled my eyes through a lot of that. And what's funny is they do a sort of a bait and switch where you're supposed to think it's one character and then it's another character, and I kind of rolled my eyes at both of them.
yeah, and I'm like,
by the end of it, I kind of
John
wished
Constantine wouldn't.
I almost wished it had been the first thing, even though that was self-indulgent, and I didn't really want that either. I almost wish they'd just stuck with that over what it ended up being.
Well, because I mean, either way, like, it's complete nonsense that they beat Zatanna and John Constantine. So at that point, like, whatever. Like,
I also
you're
don't understand,
already.
I'm trying not to spoil too much. I also don't understand how Joker has that character over a barrel like that.
I don't know.
It's like you're gonna go back to your world when this is all done anyway. Like they're almost acting like Joker is holding that character captive somehow or something, and it's like, well, everybody else is in the same boat.
Yeah.
Like,
I think just specifically because he's not supposed to be there. Like, he was never a part of this because he's pulled out from it separately.
I guess
because Joker's given that power, I guess. So
That's true.
It's like, I don't really want to be here.
You're right. Pretty much everybody else chose to be there in the first place. I guess there's that.
But also, like, he pops in and they have a plan ready, but, like, how? Like, I don't understand how any of that works.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I don't know, he's Joker, so he's Joker.
And I've never liked the way Snyder writes Joker. I will say he's writing him a little bit more traditional and classic right now than he did during his big run.
Than his earlier stuff?
And so,
that's fair.
Like he does feel more like I don't know. He almost feels like Injustice Joker to me, the way he's writing him right now.
I'm just like, I need to hit that 70s point where I need Joker to just like be flicked off the board for like 5 to 10 years, and then when he comes back, it's like more of a reinvention where we kind of rethink how we do that character. I kind of need that with the Joker. I need him to just go away.
I've seen a number of people.
I'm so done with modern Joker.
Yeah, I've seen a number of people make that same argument since the character's been like so sort of overexposed, and like there's a lot of creators who don't know what to do with him other than he kills people. He's insane, and they don't really know how to do anything creative with them anymore.
Yeah.
At least by and large. I mean, there's been some good Joker stuff, but like...
it's like a mixture of... we really need to emphasize that he is the big bad of Batman. Yeah. So like like everything's a deconstruction of their relationship.
Yeah.
And the other thing being... just how over the top and kind of forced like the dark Joker aspect of it is.
Well, and he really, and you could say this about a lot of popular characters, both DC and Marvel, but Joker especially, in a weird way, I know this is going to be an odd comparison, in a weird way has the Spock problem where the story is too aware of his popularity.
Yes.
And he's not allowed to just have a cool bad guy plot. It's gotta be really complicated, and he's gotta be the most important thing there is. Like, the Apocalypse Heart is too aware of Editorial. Like, the Apocalypse Heart knows what the reader knows is popular and is choosing what happens based too much on that.
Well, especially like issue 2 ends with Superman like tapping into Darkseid power, and then he gets like Omega beams, and like that's part of how he's able to continue on to the next round. So when they're like, okay, only one of you has like, found like whatever element of Darkseid or whatever, I'm like, oh, it's Superman, because we ended the last issue with this. And then they go, oh no, it's Joker, just so that he can win and go on to the next round. So like that was also part of the eye roll for me, where I'm like I feel like your story is telling me something else, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, and I also don't like that Joker is so prominently featured when we're doing what we're doing with Batman and Night Fight. Because it's like, okay, so the whole thing is way more Batman-centric than you
like I said with Night Fight issue 3,
like you were leading us to think it was. And like I've come around on Night Fight to some degree, but I don't like the loophole, like, here's your way back in, Batman, and then you make Joker this important. while that's going on, I don't like that.
I'm so worried that the finale is going to be Superman and Joker, and then Batman has to come in and help Superman win. I'm so worried that's the end game for this.
Well, and it's kind of like the four people that you're left with when you don't have Batman are kind of obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Like your final four. I thought you'd get maybe one cool wild card. We're not doing that. You sort of have that on. Again, I don't want to spoil too much, but we have like another set of characters at the end of the book, and you have another set of four, and there's sort of a wild card there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but not with the main ones.
Mm-hmm. No, and we did set that up right away in first or second issue. I can't remember.
Oh, that's true. They were in silhouette, weren't they?
Oh no, I was talking about the other one that's with them.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
But like you saw some of them in silhouette, like we knew they were
Yes.
coming.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still not sure where the guest character thing is going to pop in.
Yeah,
but I'm guessing it's probably going to be in a tie-in, maybe
with your
Sub-Zero,
your image characters.
Yeah.
Yes, maybe that'll be in a tie-in, like the one-on-one fights.
And some
you blew my mind when you told me that the bear killer chick from the thing we're reviewing tonight is supposed to show up in this. That's not even a superhero book.
No.
It's not remotely related to any of this kind of stuff. And it's from a series from 3 years ago.
Yeah, and I think the only reason that character got in
from beneath the trees
where nobody
sees.
Because Horwath.
Bear Bear Dexter.
Yeah. And that's because
is going to be in this.
The creator of that
so weird.
Yeah, and that's all because the creator of that series is doing letters for DCKO, just as some weird.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So he
kind of like what you have with that.
Can I have my character in there?
It's like, hey, you need one more character to fill this out? I got somebody for you.
I hope to God there's a variant cover with her.
Yes.
Because I will buy it immediately.
Yes.
Please give me that.
The bear's got to fight Joker. We got to do serial killer versus serial killer.
Exactly, yeah. So does this mean
she's not even a fighter.
No, yeah.
It would be like seeing the character Dexter fighting the Joker. It's weird.
This Dark Passage was taking over.
Exactly the same.
At least they won't have to make up a reason for Joker to win. Then.
I know, yeah.
Are you still liking this? Okay,
yeah, I'd say overall, I'm probably lesser on this issue just because
I was too.
That aspect kind of soured me immediately, which probably put me off to the wrong foot right away. But I'd say overall, I'm still liking this event.
I've got another question for you.
Yes,
just real quick before we move on. I'm sorry. Did you want to say something?
No, I was just gonna say too. I know that we talked about how they were doing different game genres. It's so they went from Mortal Kombat to Fortnite to Tekken. Are they gonna do SimCity next? Joker, we need more industrial land.
No, they'll be oh man, everybody's struggling for money, but the Joker put in a cheat code so he has infinite money and can build his own city. So he passes to the next round.
Joker gets defeated by the transportation bleed.
Or it becomes a real-time strategy game.
Yeah. A point-click adventure. This ring doesn't do anything. I can't use this kryptonite with Batman.
Or it becomes a text-based adventure where it's just it's pages and pages of this really great lettering, but that's all you get. And it's move forward, don't understand forward.
Punch Joker.
Don't recognize Joker.
It's a Sierra game where you die 50 times.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's a Sierra game. And, it has a vocabulary of 125.
Yeah,
if you don't use those words, it has no idea what you're wanting.
Exactly.
Go north. You went north.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. I'm accomplishing something. You hit a wall. damn it.
It's not DCKO, it's DC DOS.
Walk
DC
backwards.
DOS.
Don't recognize backwards. Anyway, hey, Austin, I have a quick question for you about this issue. Why does Lex Luthor have such a potty mouth?
I don't know.
It's like this character thing Snyder is doing with him, where every other line he has, he's got an alleged F-bomb, even though it's just with, you know, the characters. He's not actually saying it, but like he's the only character that's doing that. He's just constantly throwing out F-bombs, and I'm like,
Lex Luthor, more like Lex Latrine Lip.
It seems like an odd choice. I don't know.
Yeah, no, for sure. One, that fight is funny if you read the Aquaman book, because Aquaman is literally a god right now. So it is really lucky that Lex was able to do all of that in time to beat Aquaman, because he easily could have killed him instantly.
Our issue for cover of the week this week prominently features Aquaman.
It does, actually, yeah.
Oh, cool.
We've got a $10 super chat. Thanks a ton, man, for the support from 5590ERS. He says, my recommendation for a comment next week is Two-Face Trial Separation.
Okay, yeah.
I have heard of that. I know nothing about it. Is that a Black Label book?
It might be. I'm not entirely
sure.
of it, yeah.
I'm going to look into it, but if we don't get any other takers tonight or anybody that goes all the way to $10, that will be the book for next week. And we are staving off.
We are. Sorry,
Eddie Brock Carnage.
Yeah,
sorry, but not sorry, Eddie Brock Carnage.
We just look directly at the camera and go, please help us.
Watch me read that and like it.
Watch
That's my worry is I'm going to read it, and I'm going to have, like, Stockholm Syndrome. Yeah. And I'm just like, okay, I sort of like this now.
Yep.
You need to, like, in the middle of every show, have, like, a montage
Christian
of, like, sad
Ward.
puppies and orphans with Sarah McLachlan, and, like, please do not make us read Eddie Brock Carnage.
This came out just last year. This is really recent. And
cool.
I'm not immediately seeing the Black Label label on it, so I don't think it is that, but it looks very violent.
Yeah,
oh, well, and it's part of All In, so it must be in continuity.
Right.
But yeah, where do I know Christian Ward from? That's a name I recognize.
It's a good question.
Yeah, it's also a name that sounds familiar, but I can't think off the top of my head.
Looks like he's done art.
Yeah, he's an artist first, apparently. Batman City of Madness I've not read. Event Horizon I've not read.
Is he doing Exquisite Corpses?
Exquisite Corpses is him. Oh, and he's also doing this Assorted Crisis events book that we were just talking about.
There you go.
Everything is connected, folks.
Yep.
I mean, you said Batman City... Yeah, City of Madness. Is this the book I'm thinking it is? Yeah, I've been wanting to check that out for a little bit. It looks cool. I think that's one of those, like, Batman meets Lovecraft kind of books.
Yeah.
He was doing some Doctor Strange last year.
He's doing Black Bolt, which, that was a series I heard such good things about, but when they gave Black Bolt dialogue, it's like, it sort of took the wind out of my sails. Like, sure, this is good, but, like, man, I just...
So that's it. You know what? I'm sure that Eddie Brock Carnage book is great, but I just don't want Eddie Brock to be Carnage. Ever.
That's, entirely fair.
Okay, so Two-Face Trial Separation, that looks interesting.
Yeah.
And we'll let you know if that's any good, Austin, because I know you like Two-Face a lot.
Yeah.
Austin,
I'm interested to see what that's like.
Tell us now a little bit about Transformers 28, which I also read. Yeah, actually, before you tell us about this book, can I just say, I am in that place now, finally, where I'm starting to get a little bit overwhelmed by number of Transformers characters, because, like, I'm not a big Transformers guy, and we've got one full page that's this, like, roll call, because Optimus is like, I'm finally, after 4 issues of Kirkman, going to send you on a mission, and he's got, like, 15 Transformers down at no, it's either 14 or 16 because it's 2 columns. But he's got all these Transformers, and I'm like, okay, I'm starting to spin a little bit. But I
that did feel like it was aimed directly at people like you, though, where it's like, oh man, we got so many characters now, and we need like a roll call. So
it's like, all right, we'll get you up to speed here. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Some of them haven't even appeared in the book yet. It's just he's resurrected. I don't think it's just they've resurrected.
I think just like a little bit.
So many of these Autobots finally that were kind of trapped on a ship because they didn't have enough energon, and so they've been slowly bringing people back, and now they've got enough power, they're bringing back a bunch at once.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So there's some new stuff with Ultra Magnus and RC, where Ultra Magnus is letting her kind of take his spot. So that stuff was cool. It's kind of an issue where it's like 2 pages to different little things, and it's like we're just kind of checking in on stuff.
Yeah,
and then
a lot of subplots.
The ending was crazy and awesome.
What do you think of the RC Magnus idea? Like giving her.
I'm interested to see where that goes. It's definitely something new.
Cool. I like the kind of almost identity thing of I'm in this new body and I don't know what to do with myself. Mm-hmm. That whole thing was kind of cool. I really thought she was going to totally supplant Ultra Magnus, which is what he's wanting. And Optimus is like, nah, we need all hands on deck. You have to keep that title for now. And I like that he evokes precedent where he's like, look, there have been times where there's been multiple Magnuses. You can still be a Magnus. And he's like, look, I just want to retire, okay? Things were very traumatic for me recently, and I just want to be done. And Optimus is like, no, Ultra Magnus. You must remain a Magnus. He's like, well, there's this chick Magnus over here. No, Ultra Magnus. You must be a Magnus. I don't want to be Magnus. Be a Magnus. It's like, all right.
Well, because obviously we made Prime a thing where it's like there are different Primes. I don't know that I've ever seen them do it with Magnus before.
Was new to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I kind of think it's funny in that, RC becomes RC Magnus. Was Ultra Magnus's name before just Ultra?
Yeah, what was his
Ultra,
name?
Yeah. Steve
It's
Ultra.
Like he had to become a Magnus just to look less generic.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe he was Ultra something stupid, and then if he loses the Magnus, he's back to whatever that was. So he's like Ultra, speed bump or something
Ultra
stupid.
Johnson, Ultra Smith.
It could be worse. It could be going from Hot Rod to Rodimus Prime.
Yep.
But yeah, the big exciting thing with this, and I don't want to give away too much, is just we're finally back to Megatron stuff because we haven't really checked in with him. I don't think since 26. I could be wrong.
Yeah, no, I think it's true.
And he's just horrifying. I love how much presence he's finally got now that he's not competing with anybody else for leadership, and now that he's full on taken over. He's just as I'm looking for. He's just as menacing as you want him to be, and because we didn't have him for so long, and we did so much cool, creepy stuff with what's his face?
Starscream.
Starscream, thank you. I've got too many Transformers swimming around in my head right now. Ratchet. No, Ratchet's not even in this. Sky Warp. But you got you did so much cool stuff with Starscream that I think Kirkman kind of had a bit of a battle to figure out how to really create that menace. And Johnson was already doing a good job with that, but he had his work cut out for him. Kirkman did with that, and I really wonder if his Megatron is going the direction Johnson might have taken it had he continued or not.
Yeah, I wonder, because I could see him doing what Megatron does at the end of this issue, but it's also crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and just awesome.
But it is really living up to that first
run, the last couple pages.
Just in how insane it is. You know what else I'm appreciating that we've kept from Johnson's run? The art is very different, obviously, going to Mora, but we're doing the sound effects words really similarly.
Yeah, no, that's true. That is true.
And that's great.
Yeah, it definitely helps with the kind of cohesiveness of this entire book.
There's this great panel where, after that roll call, they have all of the Autobots transform at once, and you have one panel where we're just looking at Optimus or somebody, I can't remember, and you see just 100,000 just all over the panel, and
sounds amazing.
it's freaking awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, and we're also maybe setting up a redemption for Soundwave, which would be crazy. I'm interested to see where that goes, especially because his tapes are still with Megatron. So, like, if that happens, then like the big thing that he has is gone. I don't know. It's really interesting.
He's got a lot of balls in the air already.
Yeah, which I think is part of just this issue specifically, and I feel like because Void Rivals has this to some degree, and it's kind of solidified out with the new event that they're doing in that book, but it's a lot of just there's so much going on, so like each issue is just kind of like here's like a little bit of like each thing. So I wonder if that's going to be kind of what Transformers is like, at least for a little bit.
Yeah, because that's not even to and we brought this up before reviewing the new Kirkman stuff, but like there's even other subplots we haven't brought up yet. Like that's not even to talk about the like human military side of all of it.
Yeah, with that guy from Mask. Mm-hmm. I have no idea where that's going.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah. I'm just along for the ride on that one.
Yeah, you can tell they're up to no good. You can tell it's military corruption stuff, but I don't know where exactly it's going.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's the stuff.
Optimus is going to get the short end of the stick on all of that. That's all I'm saying. Like clearly that is not going to be a good alliance for the Autobots, for the Autobots.
I'm still convinced that guy is going to create Nemesis Prime, but we'll see.
I hope so. I think you've said that, and I forgot about it. I hope so.
Yeah, it would be similar to what they did with Transformers Prime for that, and I feel like that's probably where they're going.
Is that sort of like the military creates a Metal Godzilla kind of idea, where it's like we gotta do an evil version of it to fight it?
Yeah, it depends on the version. Obviously, like there's some where like I think Unicron makes the one from Armada. I can't remember. So like there's different takes on it, but yeah, that was the Prime one. Is that like a military group creates Optimus Prime?
Well, it makes
and then like
sense
the Transformers 5 one, it was like the Quintessons do it to him.
Oh,
so.
Okay. Oh, so are there some versions where it's Optimus himself, and others where it's like a duplicate?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, because I would think if Unicron was gonna do it, that it would be more like Galvatron sort of situation, where he actually turns the real Optimus into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it kind of just depends on the take. I think they'll do like a different character, but we'll see.
I'm impatient to get to Unicron. I really am.
I'm impatient to get to the damn Dinobots.
That too. And I don't expect it for a while. I would think at the pace we're going right now, I'm going to call it now, Unicron, unless they do a separate event for Unicron that involves all of Energon, and I could totally see that happening, of course. But if not, if it's handled in this book, I'm going to say issue 50 is where that's introduced.
Yeah.
I'm going to call it now. That's where that happens.
Yeah, I feel like Unicron will probably appear in Void Rivals first.
Maybe so.
But maybe not. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Or part of that is also first, and then they could finally do a story of it here in a bit. But it's going to be in a landmark issue.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like, he'll be in this book, definitely. But I feel like he'll be in Void Rivals first. Especially because that book is so much more the movie and post the movie with its Transformers stuff. Well, so I'm like, I feel like that's the place.
And I can't remember.
And it's the space thing.
Are the Quintessons like worshiping Unicron or working for Unicron? There's something with them in Unicron, I thought.
They created Unicron.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Has that been
and like the big
clear in that though? That they created?
Not in this so far. No.
Okay. I thought there was something that referenced it real subtly, where it was like, obviously we're talking about Unicron, but I can't remember now.
You kind of have that with Megatron, where there's like that's probably what it is, because there's that Quintesson that he reports to, and they're like, there's this thing that I report to.
That's what it was.
And you just hear like a voice from it. That's what
I'm talking about. I thought the Quintessons were working for him. Yeah.
No, I completely forgot about that for a second.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, and we moved that along a little bit. We go back to that for a second, where he's like spazzing out. No, in this issue of Transformers, where at the beginning Megatron's like spazzing out, and he's like yelling to that Quintesson he works for.
Oh,
and they're like,
that.
What's wrong with Megatron? Get him to calm down. So it's like, yeah, it was almost like, in Avengers when Loki has his like contact with the guy that works for Thanos.
Yeah,
it felt like that scene. If we were only seeing like Loki on Earth, and we didn't get to see the conversation he was having, and you just have people reacting like, "What's he doing?" Like, he's just like sitting there meditating to himself. That's weird.
I still always think it's funny that Thanos is like on the top of the staircase. You just see the staircase. Like somebody's up at the top of the staircase. Austin, what else did you read this week, sir?
Well, I can go from Energon to Energon. I got G.I. Joe number 17. Which, so this is the end of their big Dreadnought War, and the big thing that issue 16 ended on, the big cliffhanger, is if you've ever wanted to see a mashup of Evil Dead and G.I. Joe, here you go, because now Cobra Commander is a chainsaw arm, and he like completely takes control of the entire situation, and it's amazing, and I loved it. And then the issue has a giant cliffhanger that like blew my mind, and it's kind of out of the movies, but I was like, I had no idea this was even a thing that could be in play, but here we are. This is really cool. I'm excited to see where that goes.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, just a really good issue and end to this giant event thing.
I will say, G.I. Joe meets Army of Darkness meets Evil Dead. Sold.
Well, specifically, specifically like meets Mad Max and then turns into Evil Dead. It's like, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
And the shot we reveal it on is the like Leatherface like shaking the chainsaw, and it was like, yes, here we go. So yeah, it was fantastic.
I can't believe I actually want to read that stuff at some point. I never thought I would have that.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's cool. Well, and I think the Transformers G.I. Joe crossover is coming soon. I think it's not next month. Actually, it might be, because I think it's still double shipping, at least for another issue. So, like 18 is still this month.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah, so it's at least coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
Exactly. Like Unicron, it's coming.
It's coming.
Someday, folks.
Someday. Look, if they have the Dinobots too, I mean, that's probably when I'll jump on the Skybound series.
Watch the Dinobots get their own miniseries.
Yes.
And like that's how they're introduced.
I would love that.
I know, yeah.
Also, Kirkman, give them the dumb Hulk speak. So many writers avoid that. No, I think he will too.
Yeah.
So many writers now avoid that and try to make them more like a Conan type thing, where it's like they're just kind of like warrior barbarian type people. No, we need the Hulk speak.
I feel like there's a consistent rule with Skybound Transformers where there's certain Gen 1 things that you're not allowed to curb. That like you want to be as sophisticated in your storytelling as possible, but there's silly crap that you're saddled with.
Yeah.
Like they've got a Bible for this pretty clearly, and so I would be shocked if they didn't have. I think that's gonna be part of that rule set.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I agree, and that makes me very happy. Ninja Turtles versus Godzilla issue 2, I'll mention quickly. Just a fun issue.
Yeah, because I reviewed it last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll just throw out my thoughts. Just
Sure.
It's a fun issue where they use their spirit powers on King Ghidorah. And the best part of the entire issue, like you said last time, I think, is Casey Jones being like, I'm going to make it so that only I'm the complete focus of King Ghidorah's attack. And he just walks at him with a bowling pin.
It's so funny!
Like, what are you going to do?
Well, the business on the airplane at the end, setting up Mothra, is pretty great.
Yeah, no, I didn't expect that, but that's also what the Justice League crossover that's running right now is doing, where Batman has that, where he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go off and summon Mothra." So apparently that's just like a thing now. Is in these crossovers, you have to have that one character that's like, "Oh, I should summon Mothra." But because it's a Toho one, we get the fairies.
So so Jason's a big fan of that movie, and so I showed Jason that panel with the fairies, and he just geeked out. He was like, "What?"
Yeah, no, it's great. Yeah, I hope they get to like pal around with the turtles. I think that'd be really fun. Yeah, and also, of course, it has to be April because Mothra is the one that was made to appeal to women, so that makes sense.
And how good is that art, dude?
It's really good. Yeah.
I mean, that cover was just amazing too.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic cover. Yeah.
Well, and I'm gonna go this far. And this is kind of a weird random thing to say. I love their April design. I don't know what it is. She just looks really cool in that series. Like the way that they're doing 87, but like a tad serious. I told Austin this. I would love to see a series attempt that.
Yeah.
It's like that is like a similar aesthetic to this, where and it's sort of like Energon, where you're doing that original cartoon really faithfully, but just like up in the violence, up in the stakes, letting the characters feel a little bit more well-rounded.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that. We've never exactly done that. Like, there's a lot of 87 in IDW, but it's got its own vibe. And I'd love to see this kind of 87 thing done in a cartoon. The closest thing we've gotten to that is Batman vs. Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Which also kind of does that.
Yeah, no, that's true. Make this in that style. I'd be down for that.
Yeah. You mean like as a direct-to-video movie or something? Like, that'd be cool.
Yeah. But specifically on the Godzilla side, because obviously you've talked more about the turtle side, I think it's great that they went with the GMK design of Godzilla, because that is specifically leaning into 54 as like a ghost story and like is more of like a spiritual thing. So like it's cool that we went for that version in this world where the turtles have like a spiritual way of fighting the monsters. I think that's just a great decision. And then we also bring in Anguirus, who gets his ass kicked because that's all he ever does, and that made me smile. He's the ultimate beta monster. But yeah, just continues to be a really fun book, and probably, at least of like the Toho ones, specifically not the MonsterVerse tie-ins like with the Justice League one, probably like up there as one of the best Godzilla crossovers right now.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah,
like, I wasn't
especially because I like rolled
that.
my eyes when it happened, because I was like, "What is a Turtles meets Godzilla crossover?"
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of like weird Godzilla crossovers recently. So I mean, on one hand, why not? But like, you don't really expect too much from it, you know.
I'm still waiting for him to cross over with Archie because he's in everything.
I am surprised, especially as Archie's crossover with everything too.
Exactly.
Well, when are we gonna do Alien Predator Godzilla? It's kind of surprising that hasn't happened
Actually,
yet.
yeah.
Especially because they're doing so much at Marvel. Like, why not?
Yeah.
They haven't crossed any Alien Predator stuff with other companies yet with Marvel, and I wonder if they're going to get to that, or if there's some reason they just don't want to. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, I don't know, but why not?
That was Dark Horse's whole thing, is they crossed it with everything and other companies they could get away with.
Yeah.
So like Marvel's trying to make their crossovers with their superheroes and that stuff look like the old Dark Horse things. Like they're clearly playing into some nostalgia with that. But it's not going to feel fully authentic until they get in bed with other companies, because that's what Dark Horse always did.
Well, and you know what I want even more than Alien and Predator is a Godzilla Planet of the Apes crossover. Give me that.
Yeah. No, that's right there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Dr. Zaius is like, oh my god, Godzilla's coming.
Yeah, except you're not going to get that without Kong. It's going to be Godzilla X Kong X Planet.
There you
of the Apes.
go.
There's no way around it.
Well, no, I'm fine with that.
Kick
We've
off
at
Sil-
least done a Planet of the Apes King Kong crossover, so we've at least done that.
Yeah.
But now it's time to throw Godzilla in there.
Can Godzilla still play the piano? He couldn't before.
What else do you have, Austin?
Next up, I've got Supergirl number 9, which is an issue that initially I was like, oh, this is going to be kind of a filler issue, and then it ended up being incredibly important to the overall story, where throughout this entire run, one of her companions has been a like classic Silver Age Supergirl villain, and Supergirl has to like take her under her wing, and so the two of them and Lex Luthor's daughter all go to a party, and that villain character that's Supergirl's ward, basically, she finds out about alcohol, and she's like, I want to experience being drunk. I think that'd be great. And Lex's daughter is like, well, I can do that for you, baby. And she makes a kryptonite concoction, which, of course, she and then also Supergirl end up drinking. So that's where I get both of my, like, Luthor kryptonite things with Supergirl.
That's so
this
weird.
month.
Yeah.
It's so weird. So they have, like, a big fight and destroy this house, and Supergirl's obviously pissed. And we're left, she's given this choice where she can either return her, so that villain character comes from Kandor, and throughout the issue she's slowly like shrinking, and Supergirl's like, I don't know what that's all about. And then we find out that if you come from Kandor and you leave, not if you were like an original when it was shrunk generation, but like their kids and the kids of the kids. Now, because they've always like grown up as like a shrunk person, if they grow up to regular size, they like slowly shrink until they just decompose unless they're sent back to Kandor. So Supergirl's left with this thing where she doesn't want to go back, but she's like, well, you'll die if you stay here. So unfortunately, I have to send you back. And it's kind of setting her up to be like a big major villain moving forward.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see where that goes.
That sounds pretty good.
I may eventually have to try that.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say that it was the one of the new colors of Kryptonite from Kryptonite Spectrum. That's where I thought that was going.
Well, I wondered that for a second with KO, but that's not what it was. But yeah, and this issue also has a fill-in artist, and I didn't think the art looked as good. So
well, that
I
has
did
such
have
a
an issue
distinct
with that.
style too. You got to be
Yeah.
kind of careful with fill-ins. Was it
Yeah.
trying to ape it at all? Was it doing that sort of storybook thing? Or?
No, it looked kind of much more its own thing. It just kind of threw me off a little bit.
Well, especially
It's
because
not bad art, but yeah.
Yeah, but like somebody that's being reading that is probably going to be even more disappointed when the cover looks like the rest of those covers.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
That's a mistake. If it's going to be a totally different art style, the cover should reflect that.
Yeah. Especially when it's such like a distinct art style too.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
That's false. That falls in the category of false advertising.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Well, and especially like I said, like such an important issue with the status quo of the book.
Why would you have a fill-in artist for a not fill-in issue? Yeah.
Yeah, especially because I
Get
feel
it
like
out
the
on
last
time,
couple
probably.
issues
Yeah,
have been
but
more
it's still
fill-in,
why.
but
Yeah.
yeah. And
What else do you have?
My last one is Aquaman number 13.
Aquaman.
I finally caught up
Aquaman.
with Aquaman.
I'm sorry, number what?
13.
Yeah, I've not looked at it because I'm not an Aquaman guy. I haven't been looking at any of this.
Yeah, and this book is basically like reading a D&D book where we have Aquaman and his weird group of cohorts who are now called the Justice League Blue, which is a riff on that Justice League Red book that they have. And
Just ripping off X-Men.
Pretty much, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. And yeah, they go off on crazy little adventures. And this issue specifically brings back Mira and sets up that the daughter that she has with Aquaman is evil, and she assassinates a crab person. And basically, Aquaman is in KO, and the entire world in Aquaman's supporting cast is going to complete hell. So he's going to have a rough time when he gets back.
So all those crab people getting assassinated all the time.
Exactly, you know. Just,
exactly,
it's
yeah.
no problem.
I'm real worried about the crab people, man.
No, and it was cool too reading
Nobody's
12
talking
before...
about it either.
Nobody's talking about it. Breaks my heart. Breaks my heart.
I know. One of them was John Rhys Davies in the movie. We love crab people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he had a great voice.
But Aquaman number 12 is also one of those one-on-one fight issues, and it added a little, cool stuff with him. Not that it mattered to KO like at all, but they're the two. Aquaman and Hawkman are the ones that have to fight. So like him picking Hawkman as his partner in issue 3 of KO was part of the like, oh well, I just like killed you and knocked you out of this tournament. I kind of feel bad. I'm gonna pick you as my partner.
I mean, Aquaman and friends going on like an underwater D&D adventure. I mean, look, that's my jam. I don't know about you all.
Yeah, well, Aquaman has Mira powers now, where he can control water.
Yeah.
And there's a thing in, I think, issue 2, where a villain catches him and, like, hangs him up, and there's, like, these chains that are cutting into him, and he uses his Mira powers to, like, control his own blood to, like, break the chains, and then he, like, rises up in, like, a wave of his own blood. It's so cool.
That sounds amazing. That sounds awesome, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
that art looks good.
It's,
They've kind of
it does.
Yeah, they've kind of toyed with giving Aquaman mirror powers in the past too. Like, even like remember the like Justice League fighting game for Super Nintendo that came out?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I think
that sort of did it.
Yeah, he had like water bending in that too.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's cool.
Aquaman, the last waterbender.
Aquaman the last.
Yeah, in a way, I had a thought recently where like it kind of feels Ragnarok-y, but not in like a farce way, but more just we took Aquaman to like an off-planet area, and he's just going on like an adventure where he puts together his own Justice League team on this adventure.
He needs his rogue.
Yeah.
He needs his cleric for healing. You know, you gotta
basically.
Yeah, you need your wizard for distance fighting.
No, that's exactly it. He's got like they all fit the little roles, and
he's like a little bard.
It's like the most unhinged team.
Exactly.
This is why I keep bringing Austin on, because he's talking about stuff that would never come up on the show.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's issue 3 or 4. I was like, okay, this book's amazing. When they go into space, because he gets kidnapped by mermaids who are riding on like a little rowboat on a like a river that's going through space, and like their boat doesn't have like a top or anything. They're just rowing a boat through space. And I'm like, yes, this is so good.
That's great.
Got Douglas Adams to write this issue. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, those were my books for the week.
And then it fell to earth like bricks don't.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So
Aquaman
not a
gets
ton,
message,
but
so
some
long
good
things
stuff.
will fish.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Aquaman guy. I would try that.
Yeah,
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, I mean it's cool, and like I said, he becomes a god in this run. So there's a thing where he makes it back to Earth, and he's on the Justice League Watchtower, and we cut to Blue Beetle, and he's like, "Oh, somebody just like left the station. Like they just walked out of the station. Like, what's up with that?" And then it just cuts to Aquaman, who dives off of the Justice League Watchtower in space into the ocean.
That's cool.
It's like, yes. That's so stupid and awesome at the same time.
But that's the kind of like epic, dynamic, but goofy stuff that you want to see in comics. Like, where are those moments in Marvel right now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, that's what it's missing.
for sure.
Is that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Just fun, yeah. Like you can
just
tell.
funny. I know I keep saying punching.
Yeah.
But that goes along with the punching.
Right.
Mhm.
I mean, even DC's doing it more too. I mean, Batman's Batmobile has a secret 13th gear, right?
Oh yes, the elusive 13th gear.
13th gear, and none of the gears are reverse.
Well, Aquaman now he's got
How do you make the car go backwards? It can't. You just have to shoot a line out on a telephone pole and have it go the other way. That's the only way you can go backwards in the Batmobile.
He's Batman always forward, advance forward, Batman AF. You know?
Alternatively, you can have it drop the pedestal at the bottom that then spins the car around.
Exactly.
That's the other way you can do it.
Exactly.
Well, the Batmobile is like a shark. It can't go backwards. It can only go forwards. And if it stops, it dies.
It's just a long one-way streets of Gotham City. That's the problem.
Well, I'm going to go into the couple other books that I have for this week. Austin, anything else you want to mention before we part ways for the moment?
No, that's pretty much it. And like I said, a small week, but a good week. So
yeah.
Well, if you have anything next week, or if you just want to hang out with us, feel free to pop back in. Because you said you had 0.
Yeah.
I think you have Starship Godzilla, unless you dropped that.
Well, so I thought I had 0, but it was I have 2 books next week, but they were all so far down the list that I just stopped looking before.
It's like I give up.
That's the only thing I don't like about that site is the organization is weird. If it was by publisher.
Yeah.
But it isn't, and so I'm with you. I have that some weeks where I'm like,
you have to dig. And
I have nothing on my pull list.
Yeah.
Oh wait, you have to keep scrolling.
Well, because you get to a certain point where it becomes reprints, so I'm like, oh, I'm right about at that point.
Yeah, and you figure there's
Clicked
nothing
off.
after that.
Exactly.
Yeah, like sometimes I'll have things right up against like Panini or whatever, and you're like, I figured I was done by now.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like you get one of my books, and like right next to it is like a book that is printed out of some guy's basement, and there's 12 copies of it.
Yeah,
so I'm like, oh, by that point,
side
I've got nothing.
Yeah, and then on the other side of that is Absolute Batman 1 10th printing.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. And then like Amazing Spider-Man #3 reprinting.
Couple facsimile issues down the way too.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well,
so I don't know. I might play it by ear.
Yeah.
Like I might just combine my next week with the week after, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Oh, Brayden says you can turn off displaying reprints. I like seeing them though, because occasionally I want to buy one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I should look into that then, because then I won't have that issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and you wouldn't have as much of a reason to look at those because you're not actually buying physical. Single issues, but every now and again there'll be a facsimile I want, so I still like to look at those.
Yeah.
But...
Austin, before you go, I might have a couple books for you.
Oh yes.
Oh.
So yes,
I forgot to follow up on that. Yeah.
Yeah, because
And he didn't bring anything with him.
Didn't bring it with him. Yeah,
we gotta let him have this.
Exactly.
He's
This is
gonna
my
have
moment
nothing
now.
To say
This
for
is
like an hour.
Exactly. But I was gonna say too, like, Cap gave me the task of finding something disturbing.
I'm sorry. What? Oh, I did. I forgot about
this. Now, okay, these aren't.
I gave him homework.
You did. So I had 2 that kind of came to mind that I did look over.
Okay.
So
I'll pull up my note for it.
Yes. The first is The Me You Love in the Dark. I think that's another one. It's like Beneath the Trees titles. I had to double check.
That is some existential crazy crap right there.
The Me You Love in the Dark.
Me You Love in the Dark.
It's written by Scotty Young. It's not art by Scotty Young. But it's...
okay.
Yeah. It's about, like, an artist who lives in a haunted house, and then, like, there's a ghost there, she falls in love with the ghost, and then it gets, like, even creepier from there.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah, it's... I actually read it for the first time last year. But, yeah, I really enjoyed it. That was actually a recommendation from my girlfriend, who also really liked it. But the other one, and this is what I read, like, right kind of when it came out. I breezed through it today just to refresh my memory on it. But it's called Parasocial. And that,
Parasocial.
yeah. That, it's by Alex DeCampi with art by Erica Henderson. It doesn't look like Squirrel Girl at all. Let me just say that right now. Even though that is the artist from Squirrel Girl, she does a different style. So if you hated the art...
That's good.
Yes, so if you hated the art from Squirrel Girl, you're... I didn't hate the art from Squirrel Girl.
It worked for that book.
It did. But I know...
That's fine.
I love the Galactus issue.
The Galactus is just great.
It's so freaking funny. Anyway.
But yeah, Parasocial is misery at Comic-Con.
I was wondering that just by the title. I was like, this sounds like it could be like a misery type book.
Yep, it is. And it gets a little weirder towards the end, but no, it is basically...
Well, now with that title, I immediately went, there's no way I would want to read that.
Yeah.
But then you said misery, and now I'm curious.
Misery
is like one of my favorite things.
at Comic-Con.
Why didn't they just call
Misery,
it that?
misery,
Well,
I mean, you
misery.
probably... Stephen King's got lawyers, that's why.
Yeah, you probably can't call it that.
One cool thing it does do that is, I mean, it plays a lot
Does
with,
it
like,
have any kind of a supernatural component to it?
towards the end, yes.
Because with a title like that, I would want it to be double entendre.
Yeah.
I would want it like parasocial, paranormal. I would want that in there.
It, like, towards the end, I think if I remember correctly, like I said, I breezed through it, like, today, just flip through real fast, just sort of refresh my memory, but, like, it is one of those, like, you're not sure if the guy's, like, going insane or if he's actually, like, going to heaven or whatever, but one thing it does do...
It's one of those two things.
One of those two things.
It's the only possible answers.
Yeah.
He's either going to heaven or going insane.
Insane. One of the two, yeah. But
Can't
it does...
be both? Are there insane people in heaven?
There might be. St. Peter's like, come on, man, you gotta go. But it does a couple interesting things, like...
He's going next to the noisy ice machine for all eternity.
Is he going to heaven or Albuquerque? That's the...
Sorry.
But it also, like, it does sort of play with, like, social media. Like, there's pages that are kind of like Instagram posts and, like, text comment lines, too. Or text threads. Another thing it does that's kind of interesting is that it will put little notes and just be like, this song is playing. You know, this song by this artist is playing, which is something I've seen a lot more in comics where they'll either put like a little footnote to say like a certain track is playing, a certain song, or they'll have like a little section in like the letters column where it's like, here's a few songs to listen to while you read this.
You know, I was having that thought, I don't know why, while I was reading Beneath the Tree is where I was like, I feel like there's a particular soundtrack I don't know what, that I should be listening to while I'm reading this, and then I was thinking, like what would the soundtrack for this in an adaptation sound like?
Right.
And then I was like, more things should tell you what to listen to while you're reading it.
Yeah, and that's one of those occasionally...
Give you more of a kind of theatrical experience.
And that's something you see on occasion. This book has done it. A couple of indie books have done it. The Shaft comic from like a few years ago did it. And
there was a Shaft comic?
There's a Shaft comic.
Well, that makes sense. Yeah. That would be like, here's the 70s funk you're supposed to be listening to.
Exactly. Yeah. So
no, that's really cool.
Yeah, so either way, those are two recommendations, especially given the the little sidebar there to make it creepy.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, that's what I was going to say, too, is if I come on next time, because I'll probably mention each month what book I did when I get to them.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, since I only have 2 issues, I might just do whatever book I'm doing for January.
Oh, yes.
In there, and then I can just talk about those 3 things.
Right.
But I'll just mention this because I'm looking at my notes here, and this is kind of amusing. But our buddy Hayden told me to read that Ed Gein book. It's called Did You Hear What Eddie Gein Done?
Yes, I've heard of that.
Yeah, which I already owned. I was interested to read it. But when I wrote my note, so he just said, read the Ed Gein book, and I just knew what he was talking about. And I couldn't remember the title offhand, so in my notes I wrote, what Eddie Gein Did Done Do. Is the title I wrote for it.
They don't think it be like it is, but it do.
Have you read your book for January yet?
Not yet, no. So that's why I'm thinking like I might just do it for next week.
Okay.
But I'm thinking of doing Connor's one for January, which was um, Darwin Cook's Parker the Hunted.
Oh yeah, I've heard his Parker book's supposed to be really good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll probably do that.
I wanna give a
But thanks, Chris.
No
Those both sound like great picks.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. I want to give a shout out to, who was it, Summoner, who's like, the guy in the back has some interesting takes. Thanks, man. I don't know if that's a good or bad interesting.
Are you the guy in the back? You're kind of center frame
guy
right
in the
now. In the back.
I'm just looking at the man
Can you
in
just
the
go
mirror.
sit way back there on the couch?
I'll miss
so
you all,
that you're
everybody.
in the back.
You don't see me.
There's not like a foreground, background. We're
Yeah.
pretty well
We're pretty much
perpendicular.
exactly, yeah.
I don't know.
I do also want to shout to
The
Nicholas,
guy in the
The guy in
back.
the back.
Like we're on a bus.
I do want to give a shout out to Nicholas Bodo for a second too, who was talking about how the Two-Face book is great because it's one of the only Two-Face books that isn't an origin story.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, there's two stories you can
I
do.
was
with-
excited about that we're going to get to read a whole Two-Face story that's not an
Yeah.
origin.
Yeah, they say Two-Face is two stories. One, his origin. Two, his face gets fixed. Those are the two Two-Face
Well,
plots.
that's true. Which ironically, not ironically,
Yeah.
but interestingly, means that you have Two-Face, you have One Face, and those are the stories.
Exactly.
Like, that's it.
Well, I know there's like a Golden Age villain called like Dr. No-Face. I'm not saying I have a Batman picture in my back pocket that has,
Doctor No Face.
Dr. No-Face.
That's gonna be the secret with the Batman 2 is, like all the press just saw Face and Sebastian Stan, but actually he's playing No Face.
He's playing
Playing
Doctor
No-Face.
No Face.
Dr. No-Face.
Exactly. And then we can get a medical drama TV show with him.
We'll see, and then I feel like, James Bond can sue at that point.
That's true.
Like,
Yeah.
No, it's legally distinct. It's Dr. No-Face.
face.
Exactly. Yeah. It's
Ellipses.
slightly different.
All
It's
right.
Goldfinger Face, the new Batman villain.
Face.
The man with a golden gun face. Moonraker
Exactly.
face.
Regular face.
Austin,
Guess I'll
thanks
die
for
of
thanks for
face.
joining us. We're gonna move on, so this isn't a 4-hour show.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll let you guys
I
go.
appreciate you, buddy. See you later.
Yeah,
in the
good
week.
talking to you guys.
See you later, bye.
Yeah, see ya.
See-
Okay, here in a minute, I'm going to move on to the rest of my books, but I want to take a real quick break if we can, Chris. Thanks for joining us live, everybody. If you're watching right now, we'll be right back. Give us just 3 or 4 minutes, please. Okay, we're back. Thanks for your patience, everybody. And now I'm just going to talk about the couple other things that I read last week. So this was, I alluded to this earlier. This is a thing that I said I was dropping and that I wasn't really that interested in with the new team. And then last week, I had a short week, or I had a small week, and I had heard good things about the new team on this book, and I went, okay, I guess, whatever, I'll try it. So, my shop still had a copy left of Turtles 13, so this is right after Jason Aaron has left.
Right.
And this is Jean Lun Yang, who I have liked in the past.
Yeah.
Yang did the new Super-Man book. Did you ever read that?
I did. I read like the first couple issues.
That's
too.
a Chinese Superman. It's great.
Yeah.
That book. It's really fun and creative and clever. That book was basically, what if Peter Parker was a Chinese kid and got Superman's powers, and it has that Power Rangers 2017 thing, curiously, where he doesn't get his powers. Well, that movie was just the armor, but the idea is he's not able to use his powers unless his heart's in the right place.
Right.
So that was a super cool idea. It's got a crazy, goofy Justice League. Anyway, he's a neat writer.
Yeah.
And his sensibilities just seem right for Ninja Turtles because I realize he's Chinese rather than Japanese, but he's interested in and knows a lot about just Eastern philosophy stuff in general.
Yeah.
And so that makes him right for it.
Yeah.
And then also he's done good work with teenage characters.
Right.
And so those two things combined, he just seems good for Ninja Turtles.
Right.
So he comes in and immediately, as you might expect, starts getting into Japanese lore. He starts doing more of the spiritual stuff.
Yeah.
That we occasionally go to with Ninja Turtles. Even that Godzilla book is doing some of that right now. But he brings in this new villain. So real quick, this is Yang and then Freddie Williams, which is one of the reasons that I didn't jump on it, because I'm not the biggest fan of his Turtles art with like Batman Ninja Turtles and stuff. For whatever reason, these two guys together just work.
Yeah.
It kind of ups his art for me, where I like it in this context more than I usually do.
Yeah.
And art is not as important to me as good storytelling. So even if this book didn't look great, I would still enjoy it because it's really well written. But I mean, Williams is doing a great job. I'm just not the biggest fan of his style much of the time.
Right.
He's colored really well in this book. Is part of why I think it's working better than it usually does. So nothing against him. It's just a personal taste thing.
Right.
He's winning me over. Yang is really winning me over.
Yeah.
I've not finished. I went ahead and just started moving forward because it's a new status quo. This is an easy jumping on point. I've not finished the Jason Aaron stuff yet. It was good.
Right.
I wasn't in love with it. I wasn't just over the moon with it.
Yeah.
I've not, as I keep saying, I've not been loving the IDW status quo. He's doing way more interesting things with it. He's doing stuff like, so I got 13 and 14. 14 is the newest one, so I've got both of these to talk about. And he's doing courtroom drama with the mutates with their shanty town.
Yeah.
He's actually doing some cool cultural stuff with it.
Okay, yeah.
So he's got this new villain who is fascinating to me, and I flipped through this when it came out and was like, there's this new villain. He looks kind of generic. I don't think I care. And then I read the damn thing, and he's cool.
Yeah.
So his name is Yujigami. Immediately, I hear that and I see his look, and he's got like a ancient Japanese crazy mask.
Yeah.
And so again, getting into that philosophy, spirituality, and stuff, or I should say mythology.
Yeah.
And I hear that name, and I go, is that related in any way to Japanese shinigamis?
Right. Yeah.
Which is the thing that I only know about now because I got into Death Note.
Yes.
And then spoilers. This is a bit of a spoiler, but I do want to mention this. In 14, we are introduced to another new character, a female character, named Shinigami.
Yep.
We're doing both.
Are we gonna have like a yokai in the next issue, or are we gonna have
I don't know, but there's a whole thing we're doing with it. So
yeah, it sounds super cool.
So this guy's really interesting. He comes in and he's like Bane-like in how massive and very difficult to fight and to hurt and to kill he is.
Right.
And if you're on his bad side, you're probably going to die.
Yeah.
That's this guy. So immediately he's physically imposing, but he doesn't want to fight the Turtles.
Yeah.
He wants to be their greatest ally, and he's going after all of their enemies.
Okay.
And the Turtles are put in the position of having to protect their enemies from this guy because they were taught by Splinter to do things in a noble and honorable way.
Well, you see, turtles fight with honor.
And and it would be incorrect and against their moral principles to just let this guy go wipe out all of their enemies, just because it would make their lives easier.
Right.
And so they're so they have to bring in some of their allies to go kind of stand guard over their various enemies, because this guy's going to go after him, and he's going down a list, and he's going after them all.
Right.
And in 14, they're forced to go protect the Foot Clan.
Okay, yeah.
Karai and the Foot Clan from this guy.
Yeah.
And there's kind of this big mystery as to why he cares about them and is trying to help them, but in a way that they can't deal with. And you'd think that at some point he would go, well, if you're not with me, you're against me.
Yeah.
And you keep waiting for that moment where he's going to turn on them and fight
Right.
them. And it never comes, and we find out that there's one place where one of the Turtles got their arm injured by him, and I think I can't remember if it was Raphael or who it was, but one of the Turtles is like, I barely made it out with my life. And then they realize, again, minor spoiler, then they realize that, in fact, as soon as he accidentally hurt one, he turned tail and ran off.
Right.
And he does that in a couple of places. And I have no idea what's going on with this guy, but he's really interesting. Like, he puts Baxter Stockman in the hospital.
Okay, yeah.
And he's doing all these crazy things to the Turtles' enemies. It's a real inspired plot, I think.
I'll have to check it out.
It's such a cool idea.
It sounds super cool, yeah.
So I've turned around from I think I'm done with this book, to it might be working its way back around to being one of the better things I'm reading, because this is feeling a little bit more like the Waltz run, but even over Waltz, this guy's getting a lot done in an issue. I'm getting halfway through and going, I'm kind of surprised I'm not at the last page yet.
Yeah.
And so he's also earning his $5 price tag too. And anyway, so like, I don't have enough good things to say about it. I'm actually really excited about Turtles again. And he's got a great voice for these characters.
Yeah.
There's some pretty clever writing in it. There's this great bit. I sent this to Austin, where he goes, Karai says, because they're, for a second, they have kind of an uneasy alliance with the Turtles, and this new bad guy's coming, and she says, the Foot does not run, and Michelangelo, I think it is, one of the Turtles says, wait, isn't that what feet are for?
I was about to say.
But that's pretty good.
That's a good line. That's a good line.
It's a good line. So there's a lot of stuff like that.
Right.
Good time to get back on. I would say still not in love with the Shredder mini or the Casey Jones mini.
Right.
Try this out.
But at least there's one solid Turtles book out there too. Yeah.
Oh, there's more than that, but like the main book is so far not just solid, but like. Fresh again.
Yeah.
And then the current Power Rangers Turtles crossover, delicious,
Yeah,
wonderful.
yeah.
And then the Godzilla Ninja Turtles crossover is also just awesome. So there is some great stuff going on right now. Yeah. Anyway, so there's that. Austin talked about Martian Manhunter, or Absolute Martian Manhunter 7. I went ahead and finally got a copy.
Yeah.
Once again, Chris, I got one of these cool variants that then still gives you the A cover inside.
Yeah.
Which I love that DC's been doing that. You have to pay an extra $1, which is stupid.
I've noticed that too, where they're starting to do that more, where they have like the variant and then the actual like main cover.
Yeah. But we've got, Austin already talked about this, so I'll be brief, but we got a lot of aftermath from the end of the first arc. And again, this series was supposed to just be the one mini, and then now it's continuing. It's going to, as far as we know, just have 2 arcs, though. It's going to end at 12, which is why I decided to get back on it and finish it. And so it's setting up this kind of looming threat of the White Martian is probably not gone, and we're going to do something else with that. And it's kind of promising that at some point we're going to finally understand what the heck the Martian is, knowing that he's not actually from Mars. And there's all these townspeople or people in the city that have now experienced Martian vision and don't know what to do with that, and they're all kind of in this weird stupor of we don't want to acknowledge that this really bizarre supernatural thing happened to us, and so we're all just leaving the elephant in the room, but everybody's different now. Everything has changed. There's this nice kind of somber kind of tone to it. There's still a little bit of I don't fully know what's going on with it, but I'm able to sink my teeth better into this than I have the last couple of issues. And we're getting a little bit back to brass tacks with the kind of character family drama with it too. And so quite good. Space Ghost 7 brings in an obscure, so not a new made-up villain again from prequels. He's been doing a lot of those, but he brought in an obscure Space Ghost villain called the Antimatter Man, and is treating him like this big, ultra crazy, powerful threat. And it's this very Jekyll Hyde kind of thing where we've been sort of building to this with Jan and Jace's grandfather, who is a scientist that's been working on some kind of renewable energy source. It turns out that it's antimatter, and he's trying to be able to fully control antimatter, and an accident happens that accidentally turns him into this this evil villain. Or creates this villain that's in him. It's hard to tell if he's been changed or if it is just this Jekyll Hyde thing where it's created this alternate personality. But as always with this book, the art's awesome. There's a lot of really exciting dynamic action, and it's a cool, distinct, memorable villain. And that's all my stuff from last week.
Okay, great.
And now it's time to get to cover of the week. Our cover for this time. We didn't do this last time because we just had too much else to do. So we're finally bringing the segment back. So this is a holdover cover from last year. But it's Alex Ross's Justice #3. And because I read this last week, I did thump back through it again today, but I also went back and looked at 1 and 2 last week. I don't know if any of it's going to stick with me, but I at least remember the premise of this book a little bit better since I went back and looked at these.
You know what's funny is...
Had you ever read this?
I did. And it's funny because I didn't even remember I had until I got to the odd things that like jog my memory. The part with the Riddler in Arkham, where he's like, hey, Lex, you knew I was going to tell everyone. It's like, you're fine. You did your thing.
The whole second issue is about Riddler.
And it's funny, those couple pages, and, like, me wondering why the Riddler was glowing. But, I mean, there were a couple of odd design choices, too, like how you have Brainiac there, who's in, like, surgery gowns there. There's some
really fun odd choices. So this comes out in the mid-2000s. This is I think 05 or 06. It's early 06. This was being published just as I was getting engaged, and Sarah and I found this when it finished in hardcover at the bookstore at JUCO.
Oh yeah.
And she loves Alex Ross art. My wife's not a big comic person. She likes looking at covers and knowing some things about comics, but she doesn't like to read a lot of comics because she's a reader.
Yes.
And not that there aren't a lot of readers that like don't like that like comics, but Sarah has this thing where art slows or speeds her up too much.
I've had people say
like,
that too, where they're like,
she doesn't like how fast she reads a book.
Yeah, and it's funny because I've had people say that if they've read, I mean, it's different than reading prose.
Right.
Reading prose, you're just going from like left to right. If you're reading a comic, there might be dialogue like right there. There might be dialogue right there. There might be something here and here, and sometimes it's over there.
Yeah, with her, it's not even panel layout. It's just it goes too fast.
Yeah.
But anyway, what I was going to say is this was an odd thing I'd never seen her do before. We were at this bookstore and they had the first hardcover of this. We didn't realize it was a 12-issue maxi, so she thought it was all of it. But it was the first probably 4 issues maybe. But she bought it full price hardcover that day because she just liked the art so much. So that was my first introduction to this, and I've got it all in singles now. I think this just came in a collection at some point that I bought.
Yeah.
But the basic premise of this is the Justice League. The first issue, you think you're reading in present day, and it turns out that you're seeing a future happening where there's a big cataclysm that will destroy the world, and the Justice League is going to lose. And the premise of the book is only the villains can save us.
Right.
And so the bad guys are coming up with all of these amazing cures for diseases and ways to stop poverty and help homeless people. And the heroes are perplexed and flummoxed by this, and Lex is bringing together kind of a cabal of villains to maybe save the world. There's kind of this big question mark as to what exactly they're trying to do by the third issue. But you've got Brainiac off doing his own thing, trying to improve on humanity because he thinks that humans are just born out of chaos and want to be part of something larger than themselves, but are held back by their own biology and evolutionary state. And so he's experimenting on Aquaman for some reason in order to make that happen. He's got sort of the Agent Smith speech.
A little bit, actually,
like humans aren't actually mammals; they're a virus. He's got that whole speech.
Right. The first Matrix was a paradise.
And then by the end of the issue, we'll find out that the villains have figured out how to tap into the Justice League Watchtower, and they've learned literally all of their secrets. And so by the end of issue 3, Lex Luthor knows the secret identities of all of the heroes. And so it's just this big, epic, crazy, out of continuity story where it feels like anything can happen. It almost reads like Justice League The End.
A little bit, actually,
Kind of reads like one of those. What's odd about it to me is the kind of Norman Rockwell throwback art with the photorealism with the Alex Ross stuff, because it's beautiful and it looks again kind of like throwback and almost idyllic, but it's weird because it looks a lot like Marvel's. And there's nothing about this premise that really screams throwback to me.
I mean,
it just reads like a really epic Justice League story. So maybe the idea is the juxtaposition of it's supposed to
the classic imagery
look classic, but what's happening is going to go against all of that.
Right.
And that's all going to fall apart.
It's like the reality shifting, and that's the. I mean, the part of that too is, I do know Alex Ross. During this point in time, he was really dead set in doing Silver Age characters, and he, because there's stories about how in like Kingdom Come, they wanted to use Kyle, he wanted to use Hal, so they're like, okay, as a compromise, let's use Alan Scott. So I mean, I think that was just kind of like the aesthetic he was going for at the time, that he was really, but it works.
Yeah,
I'm not mad at it, and especially
no, I mean, like it. Besides things like Marvel's, like it really sets it apart.
Yeah,
and it feels like an exciting event, a thing that would take a lot of time to make.
Yeah,
but I just kind of wondered why this approach with this premise.
Yeah. I mean, maybe again,
it's a little bit of an odd choice.
When you have like the very like. When you have the art that has like that baseline of that very Norman Rockwell, when you start doing things like having the heroes lose and having like Martian Manhunter like going insane, being driven insane by Grodd, that kind of makes it more effective. It's kind of more of a subversion.
Yeah, maybe that's the idea.
Yeah,
because you're supposed to be expecting that.
Exactly. Yeah, and like most of it too is Aquaman like strapped to a surgery table.
Well, and I'm thinking about Marvels, and you mentioned Kingdom Come.
Yeah.
But more of, now that I'm thinking about it, more of the approach this is taking, maybe.
Yeah.
Even though it's not like an alternate universe, or like it's out of continuity, but it's not doing a big multiverse story.
Right.
But in going against the grain and breaking all the rules. It's taking its cues more from like an Earth X, Universe X, which also has this look.
Yes.
I just had that thought.
Yeah.
That's what it's doing.
I mean, Alex Ross was... Oh, Earth X was like a little bit earlier, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's a little earlier from this.
Yeah, because
that's late 90s. Universe X, I think, was like, 2000, 2001
Yeah, because it's right, because then you had like Paradise X, too.
I might be wrong. Yeah, I want to say there's 3.
Right.
I actually just bought a bunch of Universe X in singles recently. I've got it in hardcover.
I've only read like bits and
those
pieces.
Those covers are great.
They are actually,
I haven't read that in a long time. Austin and I reviewed Earth X. Somebody gave me Universe X years ago, and for a while I didn't even know it was a sequel.
Yeah.
And so I finally read Earth X. God, that's good.
Yeah.
Have you ever read that?
I have, yeah.
It's killer. Nobody talks about it anymore.
Yeah. I mean,
and it's worth it. Check that out. It's really cool.
I think it gets kind of dismissed as like, oh, Marvel wants their own Kingdom Come. When it's not quite that, it's...
No, it's not... I think it's actually kind of better than Kingdom Come.
Yeah.
Maybe. But
I mean, it does have...
I like Kingdom Come.
I do too, yeah.
I think that's probably the better book.
It does have Reed Richards stretching his brain to use Cerebro, which is pretty cool.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
See, it's been a little while, but we loved it when we read it.
Yeah.
What did you think of this?
It's funny too.
Just going back and
I liked
resampling it.
But also too, you could tell it was like, even though I enjoyed it, you could tell that it was like a midpoint in a story, because there's a lot of...
Yeah, that's why I went back and read the first 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Because at least there's only issue 3. If it was 6 or 7, I probably would have done that. But
it's funny because I remember like when this series was first coming out, part of me was like, the art looks great, but does it have a plot? Is this, is this more... I know we've talked before about how some artists almost work better as
you don't feel like there's enough actual story happening?
Here's the thing, I do. This was before I read it.
Oh,
this is when it was coming out.
Because I don't agree with that.
Because I was kind of surprised too when I was like, yeah, there is a plot.
It's pretty involved.
It's pretty involved, yeah. But I think when like it was coming out,
especially the first 2 issues, like you don't even know what the future premonition thing is about yet.
Yeah, exactly. Too. It was one of those that when I got into it, that it kind of made me appreciate it, because like I'd seen the art, I knew that it was like a gorgeous book, but I didn't know how well it held up just as like a... But it's also Kurt Busiek, right?
I think Busiek wrote it.
Yeah.
No, this is not a Busiek book.
Oh, it's...
No, Busiek's Marvels.
Marvels, that's what I'm thinking of, yeah.
No, this is Jim Krueger.
So, yeah, I mean... I enjoyed it, and I think...
Well, this is Jim Krueger drawing with Ross. Did Ross write this?
I'm not sure now.
Is that what's going on? I'm actually not even totally sure. No, Jim Krueger wrote this.
Right, yeah.
And then Ross is given story credit. And they... Let's see. No, Doug Braithwaite co-drew this with Alex Ross.
Yeah.
because when he's doing interiors, he doesn't typically do that by himself. I
Yeah.
don't think. But anyway,
But yeah, I just remember when it was first came out. That's my one worry. That,
I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly. It was. I was just worried if the plot would be secondary. So actually reading this, see how involved it was.
Yeah.
I actually appreciate it a lot more than I did when it was first coming out. And
You know what's horrifying?
What's that?
Red Tornado ripping his own head off.
Yeah, I know.
That was a moment.
Yes.
Like, somebody stop me! Like, he might as well be the mask.
I
Like,
know.
somebody stop me!
me.
Like, Gorilla Grodd makes him rip his own head off.
Oh yeah. And it's funny because like there are some characters who don't get like a lot of attention otherwise, like Dr. Magnus and the Metalman are in this.
Oh yeah,
Red
true.
Tornado, you know. It's a different cheetah than usual too.
Yes.
I know there's like 50 different cheetahs floating around Wonder Woman, but
Yeah, but usually Barbara's the one you go to.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Not here.
yeah. I do again.
But yeah, do you want to go back and finish this at some point?
I do actually. Yeah.
I'm thinking about picking this for the vault.
Yeah.
And so I need to make a list because I keep saying that about stuff. But
Again, like a lot of Alex Ross's designs too, like Toyman right in the middle there.
oh yeah,
Where he's like the weird marionette.
it's neat.
Yeah. So again, like I was sort of pleasantly surprised that there was a plot. I know that's a weird thing to say.
Sure.
But you know, it's one of those I know we've talked before about how some artists work great with their art is just like static on the page, but maybe it's not necessarily the best suited for
Well,
like,
right, there's not a lot of kinetic movement. With
yeah,
it.
exactly. But I think
But this, I think it's easy to fill in.
it is.
Because the actual action
Yeah.
is dynamic enough.
Yes, especially even like the bits where it's just like Gorilla Grodd just torturing Martian Manhunter too. Because yeah, some characters they get messed up in this book.
Dude, people getting jacked up in this
They
book.
get jacked.
There's this amusing plot point, if I'm remembering it right, from a week ago.
Yeah.
In the second issue, where the reason they send Martian Manhunter to investigate in the ocean is because fire ostensibly can't hurt him in the water, but that's
Yeah.
the only explanation that's given, and I'm like, just the fact that he's susceptible to fire but he's in water is not a reason to send specifically him.
Right, yeah. Which I figured too that
Like, yes,
says
he's got a lot of skills,
he's
but
got
that
a lot
was
of skill, yeah.
odd explanation. It's like, well, the fire can't get... Yeah, but is there anybody else more suited? Like, why is he suited for this?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I figured too that he's probably somebody who, like, the density of the ocean probably wouldn't affect him as much as, you know, other folks. And so, I mean, I assume that was part of it.
Austin, is your long list on your phone for the vault just your stuff? Or are you also including stuff I've said that I've been too lazy to write down? I bet he hasn't done that. He used to have a big list of stuff that the both of us were wanting to
Yeah.
do commentaries on, so I thought maybe he was doing that for this.
Yeah.
Well, anyway. Are you ready for shaking the phone? Sorry, was there anything else you want to say?
Nope. Just more or less that I was pleasantly surprised. I think, like, again, when it was first coming out, I almost kind of dismissed it as just, you know, a glorified art book. It's like, I bet there isn't really a plot for that. So actually reading it and
well, that's the
seeing,
reason Sarah bought it. Is
Yeah.
it kind of looks like a glorified art book.
Oh, yeah. So,
Are you a gallery guy? You ever buy those?
occasionally.
I've got a few.
Like, yeah, I mean, not super, like, I've got, like, the, like the 100 comics that, like, the Heroes Edition puts out sometimes, where it's just, like, 100 covers, 100 art pieces, too.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
But I've got some, like, single issue length things they put out, just like a cover gallery or something.
Yeah.
Got a few things like that. Okay, time for shaking the phone. Would you like to do the honors again?
I would.
All right, here we go.
Let's see.
Let's see what comes up. I am 40 issues away from 11,000 comics.
1 week. 1 week you'll have it.
Probably two.
But maybe, you know.
Probably two.
We'll see if it's a good week. It's
Coming
deceptively good week.
out. So coming for next week, we're going to be doing Batman Gotham City Secret Files and Origins #1 from 2000. This is not a No Man's Land thing, I don't think, even though it would have been around that same time period. There is a No Man's Land Secret Files and Origins.
I mean, the cover looks a little No Man's Land.
Gotham, what is it called again?
Batman Gotham City Secret Origins.
Files. So there's a lot of Secret Files and Origins books. That's, oh, sorry. What is happening? That's what that looks like, and so I have no idea what's going to be in that. I'm pretty sure it will actually be a story.
Yeah, it looks. I mean, it does look a little No Man's Landy, just a bit.
It's odd that it doesn't have No Man's Land on the cover, though. If that's the case, this might have been just shortly after that finished. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I don't know if we were quite done yet. I think we were done by that point. I could be wrong, but then I'm looking at some of the stuff here and like
it might be just like
No Man's Land is popping up on this image search, so it's right around that time period.
I do know
so
that
may be related.
Yeah, I do know like No Man's Land ended around 2000 because it was with the Lex Luthor president. I almost said Lex Luger.
Yes,
some WCW references here.
Yes, because Lex used his involvement to get Gotham back on track as leverage to develop a presidential platform.
Yeah.
Like, he got interest in his campaign by saving Gotham.
Right, yeah.
Which was a really smart plot point.
Yeah, no, for sure.
By the way, I always loved that. Okay, so that's what we're doing for next week. That'll be cool.
Yep, sounds good. I'm cool with it.
Back to Batman.
Yeah.
And now, of course, that's like my favorite era. So that'll be great. And speaking of that era, I mentioned this last week when I was going through my box, but I'm glad to finally own some Gotham Central.
Yeah.
I got 8 or 9 issues of that. I didn't have hardly any of that.
Yeah, I actually just started reading Gotham Central.
That first arc is dynamite.
Yeah.
All the stuff with Brainiac Montoya and Two-Face, and good stuff.
And even just like you forget how creepy like Mr. Freeze could be too.
Nicholas Bodo, it's not before No Man's Land, because I'm pretty sure No Man's Land starts in like 98, 99.
Yeah, and like we were saying, I do know for a fact it ends around 2000 just because it goes into the Luthor.
Well, because I'm pretty sure the novelization comes out in 01.
You might be,
01 or 02.
I think you might be, You might be right there. I'm trying to remember.
I could be off by like a year on all my dates.
I'm flipping through the Wizard magazines in my brain, too.
Only Chris has Wizard magazines in his brain.
Look, there's a microchip in there. I got them all implanted.
All right, we've got just one more segment to do. And as always, we don't want to get too in-depth because we don't want to give too much away, especially with a book that we might want to recommend.
Yes.
And most of the time when people suggest stuff, we end up liking it well enough
to
let you go off and look at it yourself. But we will explore this a little bit and tell you what we thought of. Let me pull the panels up real quick.
Yeah.
What we thought of Beneath the Trees, where nobody sees.
Nobody knows.
And don't be. Give me 1 second. Don't be taken off the beaten path with that title, because it's not gonna be like a Dr. Seuss book.
Not for kids.
No, it's not, folks. It's gonna be horrifying.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I said earlier, this is I'll just set this up real quick. This is an anthropomorphized animal book that looks very cutesy, very storybook, very fairy tale-esque, and then it very quickly becomes one of those really messed up, violent fairy tales where it's trying to do kind of a anachronistic or juxtaposition thing. Where it goes, here's the like idyllic, perfect small town with all of these fluffy, happy animal people, and then it turns out that the nicest, kindest, most wholesome seeming of them is actually in fact a serial killer that likes to kidnap people in the big city and butcher them into little segmented, even pieces.
Yep.
Never thought I would see a duck chloroform.
I know.
But okay.
In fact, it's the ducky person that's the first one that gets chopped up too.
And the first question, I mean, we'll get more into the story with this, but the first question I have about this book is, because I'm fascinated by this, is what exactly is the strategy here in going anthropomorphic? Because I can actually see it a couple different, a couple of different logics for it.
Right.
So one of them is it's creepier, and weirder and just makes it stand out and not just be a typical serial killer story.
Right.
Like, you could use this much more as a crutch than this does.
Yes.
I do think this is a good story, even if it's just regular people.
Right.
I do. I don't think it's using that too much as a crutch. But that could be part of the reason for it. But there's two main directions I could see this going, or as the reason for it, and they're opposites.
Right.
One is it's more horrific if it looks like a happy storybook about animals. And the other possibility is that it's the opposite of that, where it's easier to stomach the horrible things happening because you're looking at cartoonish animals instead of human beings. And I know those are opposite things, and I think everybody's experience is going to fall on one line or the other.
Honestly, it could be a little bit of both, too. The one thing that does stick out to me is the fact that it's this really, like, watercolory coloring.
Yeah.
And I think if you had gone, like, too cartoony, if you had made it, like, too animated, then it would almost be slapstick. So it's like this older school, this very, like, Golden Book style.
You're right. And that's the right way to put it. It is Golden Books. And you make a terrific point, because this isn't Scotty Young.
And it's not I Hate Fairyland.
It's not I Hate Fairyland. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah. So, I mean, the fact it's even more...
And he does a similar juxtaposition thing there, where it's horrific, but it looks like Happy Town fluffy. I have a theory about this.
Right.
I don't think we're actually looking at anthropomorphized animals.
Right.
I think that's for the audience's benefit. Again, for either of those reasons. But there are very few references in the story to the fact that all of these animals are living together and getting along. There's no social commentary about, like, bigotry or, like, the ducks don't like the bears, don't like... There's none of that.
Right.
They all act as if they are of the same species.
Right.
You know, there's no racism commentary. There's none of that stuff. And also, there are regular animals.
Yes.
You
even, like, text me about that too. Like, why are there actual bears?
There's a scene in the first issue where there's, I mean, it's gruesome.
Yes.
It's just gruesome. This scene, where Samantha, who is our serial killer protagonist, like a Dexter, she happens upon a bear in the forest and has no comment about the fact that it's a bear and she is a bear. I don't think she's a bear. I think that's for our benefit.
Well, you know, I mean, you do see that with a lot of books about, like, anthropomorphized.
They also eat animal meat.
They do, So
and there are places where it's very clear that animals are eating their animals, like the one that they are.
Right.
And that did feel like did feel like some kind of maybe satire, or something. I wasn't really sure what to make of it.
Just more playing the theme of, like, the horror just under the surface too. And I do know too that whenever you have you know, books with, like, anthropomorphic characters like Usagi Ojimbo, or I don't know how many people here have read the webcomic Apewood as often as I have. Just if you get a chance to look up The Great Outdoor Fight, it's worth it.
Okay.
But that's a book too where it's about cats and stuffed animals, except it's really not. Where like occasionally you'll mention that they'll mention, like, we live in a house with our owner and we're all stuffed animals, and then other times it's like, all right, so I live in a mansion, and I'm rich. I invented I gave $2 million to Oreos because I want to have walking around money. So, I mean, a lot of that stuff, it's important that they're animals up until it isn't. And
Well, I think it's partly maybe even a justification of doing it in this medium.
Yes. Yeah.
Where it's like, we've seen, obviously, good kind of, like, cinematic looking thriller stories with just human beings.
Yes.
But this is a way to play more to the visual medium.
Yeah.
Especially in a story that doesn't have a great deal of action.
Yes. Yeah. And, I mean, this is a book that even if
it could be as simple as just not being boring.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
admittedly, and again, I don't think it's using it too much as a crutch because the story's good.
Right.
And it's really tightly woven.
Yeah.
And all of the details add up with the murder mystery, and then the kind of what am I trying to say? The maneuvering.
Yeah.
That happens toward
turns,
the end.
The red herrings at times.
Like, this would make a good novel.
Yeah.
But admittedly, it is going to stick with me more because it looks like this.
And, there are some stories that, I mean, you could theoretically tell any story in any medium. But some mediums are better suited. Like, this is a story that really benefits from that visual element. And especially with, like, the care that was taken with,
Well, especially in making it animals. Like,
Yes.
I think you could do this in prose.
Yes.
And then it's just, kind of a Stephen King novel or whatever. Or Agatha Christie or, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Or you could do this...
There's a guy named Jasper Ford who does, like, they call it, like, the nursery crimes, where he does, like, murder mysteries, like, about, like, Mother Goose and stuff, too.
Yeah. You know what my, and I alluded to this earlier, my biggest complaint is
What's
about
that?
this? The way the story resolves...
Yeah, I can see that.
Well, no. Let me finish my
Okay,
statement.
yeah.
I think it's a good story. I think
Yeah.
I'm not even complaining about how it resolves.
Right.
Where I'm going with this is,
Okay, yeah.
and especially, I'm saying this to piggyback off your point about the medium.
Yes.
Especially being in comics, the way the story resolves, it reads like a pilot to me. It's very odd that this is the story, and
Yes.
then they came back and did a little 2-issue story after this.
Yeah.
And that's all that's been done with this. We work our way back around to more or less the same status quo at the beginning, which kind of suggests that it wants to keep telling stories about this psychopathic bear killer,
Right.
who finds a way to hide in plain sight and not let anybody know what she's doing.
Yeah.
And it's like that Dexter thing where it's like, how does she continue to operate?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
part of what's interesting about this is that she gets away with it.
Yes.
I'm giving that away. I don't know how to
There-
talk
yeah.
about this without giving that away. Apologies. But this is a story that looks like it could go on for 50 issues. And it's just a miniseries. That's an odd complaint because usually,
Yeah.
I appreciate stories that finish when they're done.
Yeah.
This story has a beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah.
But it feels like it wants to be a serialized comic story that keeps going. To me,
It's
that's I don't know if you have that, but that's my complaint.
I mean, it's possible too where they probably wanted it to be like, I imagine, like, when they put this together, I imagine that they're like, okay, we're only gonna probably get 6 issues if we're lucky. Let's at least try that. And if it goes somewhere, we don't want to cut ourselves off.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can see them not wanting to close the door. I can see them wanting to at least do the trial run and just to see it. Like, I mean, it's like how Hellboy basically is like a bunch of miniseries, whatever Mike Mignola wants to do another Hellboy story.
Yeah, but this has been around for 2 years. They've only done one more story, and it was only 2 issues.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, too, because, like, I hadn't heard about this until DCKO. Until that promo image.
That's
where
so weird.
It's,
That
yeah.
that's even happening.
And, again, too, it's just because, like, the creator did letters.
Right.
And, which is such, like, a weird thing. And So, I'm going to guess. I think we've already started. I think they've even already announced like a new miniseries.
Oh, good. Okay.
I think so. Yeah. So I think
so it is going to be like you're talking
It
about.
is. Yeah.
Where occasionally they'll come back and do more. Well,
Yeah.
then maybe I rescind that. I mean, that's cool.
Yeah.
It maybe makes sense to occasionally come back and do one of these as opposed to a Hyde Street where it's every month.
And I think too.
But it read like a potential monthly to me.
Yeah, and I could see the creators.
It's not a giant complaint.
Yeah,
I was
no,
just a little surprised by getting to the end. It's like there's only 2 more of these.
Yeah.
It's weird.
And I could see that the creators not wanting to go in expecting they're going to get a monthly just.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, so I could see them.
And I don't know how
it.
popular it was.
So I think that was a little bit of a. They're like, all right, we're gonna end the story, but we're not going to like shut the door entirely.
And IDW doesn't typically manage to publish anything that does much better than like 13,000 copies.
Yeah. I mean, when you think IDW, you think like a lot of their licensed stuff too. You think like Star Trek. You know?
Yeah, and Ninja Turtles. But
yeah.
occasionally they'll do a really good original thing that you're like, how did Image not get their hands on this?
Yeah, exactly.
How is this an IDW book?
Yeah, I forgot this was an IDW book. I thought this was an Image or a Dark Horse or something too. But
So I'm thinking more about this anthropomorphic thing.
Yeah.
And it's maybe like thematically, it's maybe like an animal farm thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's animals because we're dealing with the idea of butchering.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about the cover of issue 2, with the butcher shop.
Right.
And we're doing a lot of stuff with that idea of like slicing up meat, and you have the cat woman that works at a butcher shop that is supposed to be a red herring that we're supposed to think is the other killer.
You see the blood on the meat she's chopping up too.
Yeah, and so it's this idea of like the kind of food chain circle of life, like carnivorous characters that don't think of themselves as violent.
Yeah.
But there's an inherent degree of violence that is required, arguably, for a carnivorous species to survive. Because, like, we have to kill other living things in order to eat. And then the question is, where is the line between that and sadistically enjoying it to the point where you can kill anything?
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they're animals?
I don't think it's any mistake.
I don't know if I'm fully articulating this.
I get what you're saying, too.
And
I don't think it's any mistake.
I'm dancing around something.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it's any mistake that the main character. That's
Alex says there's 4 issues out for the sequel comic. Okay, yeah. I saw it. This series has a 7 and an 8, and then I didn't know if it had a thing beyond that. But the 7 and the 8 are like a 2-part story.
Yeah,
I thought, but whatever.
And then there's like Rites of Spring or whatever it is. Is that the?
That's what I thought it was, though.
Yeah. I think there's even going to be like a TTRPG. I think.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I'll have to like look into that.
Okay. But anyway, what were we
after we learn how to play Power Rangers, we're gonna.
That sounds great. Let's cross them over.
Exactly. What did you do with the Megazord? Alpha 5, no. But I don't think it's any mistake that Samantha is a bear, and that her targets are ducks and mice and cats, and I think like this.
So there is kind of a food chain thing happening.
There's a little bit of a food chain thing. I do, there's.
And then the other, without giving too much away, there's another serial killer that is lower on the food chain.
Yeah,
that's on purpose.
Right.
Okay, so it's not arbitrary.
I think there's like a lot of ideas that are being synthesized. I think that this is kind of a point where I think there's a lot of different ideas and concepts that they were able to like synergize. And I think that there's deceptively a lot going on with it. And I think like we could say like there's one thing that is like the core of this when again, you could have the food chain, you could have the idea of the town where with the secrets underneath too. But I think it's just like really smart.
It's not actually as innocent as it looks.
Exactly. And I think this is just a case where there's just a lot of really smart metaphors and really smart like imagery just sort of like layered on top of each other too.
And it works on a couple of levels because just the thriller story about a serial killer hunting another serial killer just all by itself is interesting and entertaining and sucks you in.
And you know, that's one thing too, because
so you don't have to notice it being about anything deeper to get a good ride.
So I think that's like a thing too, because the individual elements are pretty well defined. Like, you could do a story about like in a cartoon animal serial killer, but again, you're right too. They did use it as a crutch. They made sure like, okay, we're gonna have a thriller, but it's gonna be a good thriller. We're gonna have artwork. It's gonna be good artwork. It's gonna be like good children's fantasy artwork on top of like this really compelling killer versus killer story.
Yeah, and this is you're right. It's a story premise that you've seen before.
Yeah. Oh,
it's kind of packaged a little bit.
It was like
differently.
the first Dexter book. It was the first season of Dexter too. But
where it's like, well, that's the whole premise of that show. That he's got to hunt bad guys so that we can stomach watching him doing horrible things.
Yeah.
And so with this, it could have been just it's a stalker. It's like a evil stalker lady.
Yeah.
And it's an animal, so that's weird. And then we just watch like some detective take her down or something.
Yeah.
And instead, she is the protagonist, and she's smart enough to figure out where she can do this hunting.
Yeah.
That she won't get caught. But then somebody else is getting into her territory and making all the mistakes she's been smart enough not to make. And so she's got to take that person down so that she's not found out. And then that killer, when she figures out who it is, tries to do the team up thing.
Yeah.
And she won't have it. And then and then it becomes a frame up job. And all of that is in its way by the numbers, but the way it's packaged, it's kind of thrilling while you're reading it.
It is, yeah, and I mean, I think,
and it's not 100% callable,
right? And it's funny too because
there's definitely some unpredictable stuff within there, particularly like who it ends up being, and then how she gets out of it ultimately. I think is really well handled.
I think so too, yeah. And again, like just reading this too. It didn't skimp, and it's not lazy, because, again, you didn't have to have, like, the mystery, the thriller aspect be as good, as well-constructed as it is, and you didn't have to have the art be as, like, again, like, the one thing that's sticking out to me is the fact that they went with, like, the really watercolory coloring, because that makes it seem a little bit more innocent. Even as things are,
which overall makes it moody.
Exactly, yeah. So I mean, it's such,
because you keep kind of, or this was me. Like my skin crawls a little more because I'm anticipating this innocent, bright artwork.
Yes.
With the bloody stuff I know is going to happen.
Yeah.
Like after, and I like that. You see hardly any of that gore, and then you're just hit with it so hard when she slaughters the duck.
Yeah.
And then you go, oh crap, this is going to be this book.
This is real, yeah.
And then it's that building anticipation thing that you do in horror movies where, nothing awful is happening for a while, but there's this kind of like building sense of tension, right? And
it's the stuff you don't see that makes it scary too. The stuff that,
and then suddenly it hits you with something you do see.
Yes, yeah. So I mean, it's just amazing too, because there's a deceptive level of craft to this, and I think it plays off each other really well. I think
that's
it
a great way to put it.
Together, yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, all the motif about meat cutting.
Yeah.
there's something certainly going on there.
Yeah.
And good sense of visual, driven storytelling.
Yeah.
But again, more in that storybook way, where it's not especially kinetic.
Yeah.
Sort of like what we were talking about with Justice.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it's really this part here where there's like the dummy or whatever that they go in there like, there's heads here, but they're felt. how that is
Yeah.
like a really weird, twisted.
And that's one of the only places where it seemed to sort of matter that they were animals.
Yeah.
Because a human being would have a hard time making a dummy of himself
Yes.
or herself.
Right.
Now, I do think it's a little curious, and I don't know if there's... Because the more we're talking about it, the more does every detail feel intentional.
Yes.
But I do wonder about the curious choice to make the serial killer female, just because of how unusual that is.
Yeah,
there are
'cause-
very few female serial killers in history.
Yes. There's a very specific profile for a lot of modern American serial killers.
And I did appreciate the fact that at least the other one wasn't.
Yes.
But it's interesting that the first red herring is female.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will admit that I went through the first 2 issues and didn't actually realize that the protagonist was female.
Yeah.
Because she's only referred to as Sam, and you get Samantha by issue 3. It's actually here.
Yeah.
And then retroactively looking back at it, I realize that she's sometimes wearing somewhat more effeminate clothing.
Right.
And that they draw her with a subtle bust, but I just didn't pick up on it before.
Yeah.
Because given that it's a bear, it's not especially effeminate. Right. And then you look a little closer and you go, she's got eyelashes. Like they are drawing her. Yeah, they are drawing her as a woman, but I didn't realize it for like 3 issues.
Yeah. I mean, the only reason I knew was because, like, I saw somebody post the DCKO promo image. It's like, look, it's Samantha from beneath the trees where nobody sees. Like, okay.
And I don't even think that that's supposed to be a reveal.
No, yeah.
I'm not sure, but it is a little bit odd that she's not referred to as Samantha until issue 3. So it ended up being a revelation to me.
Right. And like I said, the only...
So you don't think I'm crazy for not catching it?
No, like I said, the only reason I knew was because, like, I had more or less been told by the internet.
Well, and the serial killer angle is one of the things I'm sure that made me just default to a male assumption.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's you think it might be a male in their 30s or 40s, white male in their 30s.
And I bought it well enough within the story.
Yeah.
But it's just so unusual.
Right. I mean, maybe that was also kind of a choice, too. You go somewhat against the profile, so no one's going to expect the...
That's probably the main reason.
Yeah. So, I mean...
Yeah, pretty unusual. And maybe also just to avoid more direct comparison with Dexter, I guess?
Probably, yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just interesting how, you know... This is a book, I don't know how much of it was intentional, but all of it feels intentional.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I was overall really happy with it.
I was too, actually, yeah.
And the best thing I can say for it is I've never read anything exactly like it.
Yeah.
Like it really does stand out. And you read off the story beats, and it does sound really familiar.
Yes.
But as I'm reading it, I feel like I'm having a very original experience.
You know, I mean, it's funny too because, I mean, people have said before that every story's been told.
Well,
but you haven't told it.
Of course, yeah.
So, I mean, finding even like a lot of the classic, you know,
well, these characters are well drawn.
Characters are well drawn. Just finding that new way to do it, and again, just how, again, like I don't know how much of it was intentional, but it all feels intentional. And I think, the fact that it is, even if the story beats are familiar, it's a well-told story on top of everything. It's a tightly constructed, you know, mystery. I mean, I think that helps. I think, you know, just the fact that there is, you know, at least it feels like a level of care with the actual construction of the story, too.
Yeah, definitely.
That really elevates it.
Yeah, it's pretty effortless.
Yeah,
So, strong recommend from us, I guess.
I think so, yeah.
Next week, we're going to do Two-Face Trial Separation, thanks to 5590ERS, who gave us a $10 super chat to do that. And we really appreciate you steering us away from Eddie Brock Carnage. So we're going to check that out. I know nothing about that book, besides the covers are pretty.
Covers did look pretty, especially that one where he's like crawling out of Harvey Dent's face.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Once I looked at that, I realized I have seen that at the comic shop.
Yeah.
But that's all I know about it. So join us again next week, and we'll take a look at that. And Any brilliant last words before we leave, everybody? Chris?
No.
I think we did everything.
Yeah, we did everything.
Right?
Brilliant last words, like, I don't know, we did the stuff.
Thanks, Nicholas Bodo. Glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, a regular show without anything just gigantically major, and we still managed to go past 3 hours. I blame Austin.
Yes. Austin, how dare you?
And Chris.
Well, me too. How dare I?
But as always, I had a great time. Thanks a lot for being here, everybody, and we will see you again next week. I was Captain Logan, and this was Chris.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, folks.